One, if you thought being a 10 was great in the bedroom, just imagine what a 20 must be like. Experience off-the-scale virility with Maxiderm's new Red Pill Power Surge. You'll never want to go back to being just a 10. Call 1-800-418-4697 now to experience male enhancement supercharged. 1-800-418-4697 for your free trial and ask about our VIP club rewards. Hurry, this offer is limited. Call 1-800-418-4697.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
A crossover is
crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time.
Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
Double crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve. The crossover is brought to you by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. You might need some concrete repair after the rain today. Have you not heard that phrase?
Some concrete?
No, what we came on to.
You've
heard that, right?
Oh, no, I've heard that.
I just thought it's funny that we're talking about Steve Phillips.
I just thought about Steve's. I just thought about something I shouldn't have.
His perfectly manicured goatee and just dazzling, almost just.
Well, I, of all people, have heard that.
Breathtaking white hair.
Oh, that's true.
People,
that's true.
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah, our types get that a lot.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, now people are going, what in the heck are they talking about?
Don't worry about it.
And you'll never know. What's up, guys?
Hi.
How you doing?
Justin Verlander is an Astro. How about this rain? I keep saying it. It becomes
raining?
More and more relevant every single day. How about this rain?
I turned my sprinklers off in the nick of time.
Wow.
Not going to need those on for a while.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Not going to need any of that.
It's always kind of funny when it's just like a heavy downpour, yet you still see sprinklers going on.
Josh, I just got a email from a PR company, the best cities for pickleball lovers. You
Omaha.
like lists?
Love lists.
Omaha's not top 10.
Wow.
New York, Austin, Vegas, worst cities, Patterson, New Jersey, Laredo, Texas, and Joliet, Illinois.
The Omaha pickleball community is still, I would say, in a grassroots stage.
Yeah. But now
it's formulating.
Over in Council Bluffs, because of the field house, it is enormous.
Oh, but it's happening here. There's no concerns.
Their courts, they're outdoor courts going up instead of tennis courts now.
I've talked to a couple people just in different walks of my life.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, "Oh yeah, no, I run pickleball in this town." I'm like, "Well, that's what the other guy says."
Yep.
Do you brag about that? Is that could you put that on a business card?
I mean, we could talk to Ravi about this.
Yeah.
Ravi's like, I'm the guy. I play pickleball all the time.
But why is Joliet so out on pickleball?
Joliet's in on pickleball.
Well, you got to remember,
they're one of the worst.
They're one of the worst.
Okay,
so back to the list.
They've got baseball there.
Worst cities, Joliet is third. Miramar, Florida, which is Miami. Oxnard, California. Cowboys are there right now. Pasadena, Texas. Hampton, Virginia. Bridgeport, Connecticut. Kansas City, Kansas. And Rancho Cucamonga.
Kansas City, Missouri, I bet are pretty good.
Kansas City?
Kansas City, Kansas, though. I bet on the Missouri side, it's probably way better.
I bet
probably
not.
a different ball game.
I bet not. I bet Kansas City, Kansas would be the place for it.
Nah, Missouri.
That's where all the white people are.
Rip out the gym equipment in the park and put in a pickleball court.
Hold on.
In the plaza.
Just, it's not very hard. Just figure out where all the white people are. That's where the pickleball is.
Yeah, okay. So you say, Kansas City, Missouri, yes. Kansas City, Kansas, no.
Correct. No, Kansas City, Kansas, yes. White people. Okay.
Latham, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Overland
Suburban.
Park.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe
City
Overland Park.
On the
Lenexa.
Johnson County side?
Yes.
New York, Austin, Vegas, Chicago, Orlando, St. Louis, Mesa, Charlotte, Tucson, Cincinnati are the best cities for picklers. That's
Mesa.
what you call them. There, if you play pickleball, you're a pickler.
Pickler?
I
can see Mesa. Kelly? Any place in Arizona I could see being very, very good.
Jasker Todd says, hot take, pickleball is overrated. Something that has been said on this show many, many times. I am not in on the pickleball craze. It's taking over our communities.
I have paddles.
In our tennis courts.
I haven't played yet, but I have paddles.
What happened to the people who just want to play tennis?
Exactly.
What happened to them? They're out of courts.
Would you be frowned if you just decided to play a mean game of badminton?
I
people
think
like
so.
with the picklers look at you like,
yeah,
trash.
Yeah. Get this garbage out of here.
Come on, you rube.
That's probably why Kansas City is such a bad place for it, because that's the badminton.
Yeah.
They have the birdies everywhere.
Yep. The badminton
The
capital.
shuttlecocks.
How soon
Too rude.
before we have Division One pickleball?
Oh, good
It's-
question.
Yeah.
It's probably not that far away.
You don't need a huge facility.
No.
Think
There's
about
been-
the NIL opportunities.
Matt
are they
Rule,
playing,
wasn't Matt Rule supposed to be a good pickler?
He had mentioned something about
Yeah.
that. Are they playing pickleball in like intramural sports in
I imagine they are.
college?
By now they have to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wonder why broom ball didn't really take.
I know.
So
Or-
broomball was
Or floor hockey.
broomball was an intramural sport at Omaha. I don't know if it still is.
It was in Lincoln too, and it was
Yeah.
big.
Yep.
Yes.
So it was at UNO as well.
How did floor hockey not take off? Floor hockey has to be in the top 3 of the best PE games.
Scooter hockey is my favorite, except I'd run over my fingers a lot.
I was like the bowling unit in PE.
Oh
where
yeah, that
you
was a
were
good
in the
one.
gym and you had the rubber bowling
Yes,
balls, and
It's
you would
just
just
a little
you-
different.
you would just chuck them as far as you
Mhm.
could and try and bounce all those things out.
What about Jolly Ball? Everybody remember Jolly Ball?
Jolly ball?
Jolly Ball was this huge. So you're basically lined up. Your team you're sitting down. You are one side of the square, and then so it's basically 4 teams. Then the other team is the other side, and so on and so forth. And there's this huge ball. It's this big old bouncy ball. Like we're talking like yay high.
Okay.
You can't use your hands. You can only kick it. And if you kick it over the head of like the side that you're going up against, that's a point for all the other teams.
Oh,
Yeah. And then that
so it's
team-
kind of like spike ball, but like big spike
yeah,
ball.
yeah. And you have to stay
Yeah.
on your butt. You have to stay seated. It was fun. I don't think we played anymore after like we were maybe 7. But yeah, it was fun. It was a fun little game and youth gym.
In Lincoln, there is a pickleball tournament. Registration deadline is September 8th.
I'll get in there now.
Is it part of the
UNL.
Cornhusker State games going forward?
Oh,
It wouldn't shock me if the Cornhusker State games will have pickleball.
They do a lot of stuff in there.
They do?
also that's the same date to get registered for the Madden tournament.
Esports.
I've not played Madden for a while.
Here are the things that are happening in the Cornhusker State games. All right. We have adventure race.
Oh, what's that?
Don't know.
Hmm.
Aquatics, archery, arm wrestling,
Adventure race, I think, is one of the OG sports.
axe throwing, badminton,
Nice.
Okay.
baseball, basketball, BMX, freestyle or racing,
Okay.
bocce ball,
Ooh, yeah.
bowling, chess, cornhole, curling, cycling, disc golf, electronic darts, fencing. We've talked about fencing before.
Yes.
Figure skating,
Big Ten needs to
fishing,
get fencing.
foot golf. What's foot golf? You
Foot
kick a golf ball. Okay.
Oh,
we'll go-
maybe it's like
we'll circle around to that
maybe
one.
it's like golf rules, but you kick a football.
You
Golf.
can play it at Elkhorn Ridge.
Gymnastics, hockey, horseshoe pitching, martial arts, miniature golf, pickleball.
Pickleball.
There it is. Pickleball is
boom.
played at the Cornhusker State game.
Have
Yes.
anybody
Let's click.
been involved in the Cornhusker State games?
I have never.
I haven't. No.
We were going to play softball one time, but we missed the deadline for registration.
Living in Lincoln, we would broadcast the Cornhusker State games opening ceremonies at Seacrest.
Oh,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's big time.
Is the Cornhusker State games still? I mean,
It just happened.
Dave,
Yeah.
I know Dave Manerick is still running
Mhm.
it.
Yeah.
I took over for Tom, and Dave and his crew are great. But you don't hear about. Maybe it's living in Omaha because most of the events are in Lincoln. You don't hear about it as much.
Guess not.
But-
other than usually the yearly email from Dave, like, hey, it's starting soon.
So, I've never. I
Racquetball.
think I might have done basketball one year. Like we put together a basketball team, and we're like 3 and out.
I've never participated in the Cornhusker State games. Does that mean I'm not a Cornhusker?
That's that's a good poll question.
If
If you have not
never have either.
participated in the Cornhusker State games, are you a true Cornhusker?
What if you tried but you missed the deadline?
What's a
Like your intent was there.
super retriever series? You just have a dog? And
You throw a ball, and your dog has got to go get it and come back in time.
certain
anybody
time.
with a dog can enter that. Doesn't take any talent.
Does basketball, don't they have 3-on-3? Or at least they did
they
at one
did.
point? Okay.
Like it used to be the basketball.
Oh, there's also walking.
The
Oh,
yes,
good.
there is.
I can walk.
They have the
Mall
basketball open division used to be pretty competitive. It'd be like former Husker players,
Yeah.
like former college players around the state.
Because remember,
Yeah.
Hoop It Up was a big thing too.
Oh yeah.
How do you win
Hoop
at
it
mall walking? Okay, there's a 6-mile mall walk, a 3-mile mall walk, and a 1-mile mall walk.
They walk around Gateway? And be the
yes.
only mall to be able to
Yes.
walk around?
Gateway Mall, 61st and O.
Nice.
So
So you can there are rules with mall walking
Formerly,
because this is a competitive sport of like Your
you can't
feet-
go. Yeah,
Yeah, your feet can't leave the ground.
correct. You have to, have to have 1 foot on the
Yeah.
ground at all times.
Yeah.
Formerly known as the indoor Volkswalk, Mall Walk is a non-competitive event where participants may walk at their own pace. This is an opportunity to be a part of the Cornhusker State Games, get good exercise, and develop new friendships.
Not gonna lie, I watched this in the Olympics.
Are mall walkers?
It was the weirdest thing, but I
friendly?
did watch it in the last Summer Olympics.
So it begs the question: is mall walking a sport?
Yeah, it's in the Olympics.
Well,
Summer
they-
Olympics.
They say no. It's non-competitive. If
No.
it's not competitive, it's not a sport.
This one in the Summer Olympics was competitive. Like
I wouldn't sign
there
up
was
for it if it's not
strategy.
competitive.
Well, it's
I'm going to
just-
nudge that 81-year-old mom from Bertrand out of the way.
Gary,
while I'm making the
it's,
turn.
it's simply your opportunity
Homer.
to make new friends. That's what they offer you.
From
I don't know,
Bertrand.
dude. When you go to the mall, if you ever go to the mall, and you see mall walkers, do they look friendly? Like they might stop for a chat?
No, they don't want to
So-
stop.
No.
They don't want to stop.
My first job ever was Finish Line when I was 16. And when we'd have to open up shop, we'd see the mall walkers getting there before. They looked like a friendly bunch. They looked like they're there as a little social, a little exercise, and they look like I never saw one below 70.
Kyle tweets in. He says, if you haven't participated in the Cornhusker State Games, it makes you a J-sker.
Whoa.
Oh, no, I'm not
Oh,
a J
I
sker.
guess I'm a J-sker then. Whoops.
See,
Sorry.
again, I want to know if you tried to sign
Never
up, you had
proclaimed that
everything
before.
ready to go, but then they actually, no, I take it back. They were full. We didn't miss the registration deadline. They were full.
This story keeps changing.
Yeah, we couldn't. It was the co-ed softball. We couldn't play. No, it was men's league softball. You see, it changed again. It was
Now
men's league.
it's changed again.
It was men's league softball. They were full, so we didn't even miss the deadline. So we tried.
Should you be allowed to run for office in Nebraska if you've not participated in the Cornhusker State Games?
Yeah, you got to have that on your
What does that
resume.
mean? If you participated as a competitor, or did you have did you help out? Did you volunteer to
Volunteer, sports supervisor, or
okay.
participant.
Or you could be like maybe like the MC or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
you know?
like so you had some involvement, some shape or form.
I mean, do we think like Deb Fisher was in the mall walking?
We do not.
Do we think like
I think she ran
Don Bacon
fraudulently.
was hanging out with Doug Emery in the
Don,
boxing event?
Don Bacon was in the axe throwing.
No, I think they all ran fraudulently.
Wow.
Stolen valor.
That was just the house.
Hockey Dad says retired from broomball when one of my buddies went into the boards and broke his leg.
Ooh.
That's
Oh.
you don't want that.
Broomball's no joke.
Also, we had a little breaking news here.
Oh.
Ding, 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 ding.
So you know how Miles Farmer is suspended?
Yeah.
He has now entered the transfer portal.
Oh.
So
You
it
can
appears
always come back.
you could always come back, but in this case, it seems like he may not come back.
Seems unlikely.
What are the chances that he finds a home before, I don't know, week one?
I'd call it not good, Gary. Not good.
Yeah.
You're 4 weeks away from the season. 5, I suppose. I give him an extra week of wiggle room. Maybe you find a team that's not playing on Thursday night of week 1. Or maybe you can go to a week 0 team and just hop right in there.
You could get in for the Aer Lingus Classic
You
again.
go play at Notre Dame.
Just
Yeah.
want that trip.
Go back to Dublin.
Yeah.
Play for, well, the Academy's probably going to have a tougher time getting
I would imagine
getting
so.
clearance by then.
I don't know how many
Hey,
transfers they're
There's
taking.
not. We're working with a
Hey.
truncated timetable now.
What if you were Minnesota?
Oh, don't.
It's where my head instantly went, to be completely honest.
You may not play against Nebraska,
But you got
gotta-
some. You got
but
some info.
you gotta give
you
them the
got some
goods.
info.
Got to give them the goods. They won't even make you stand up and clap for PJ when he comes into a room.
Offer him a nice NIL deal.
Mhm.
So you can hop back in the portal whenever you want. Well, we need you for
Yep.
the next
We
couple
need
weeks.
you for yeah.
What are they doing? What
What-
are they doing?
Let's talk about this 335.
We'll have a Huntington Bank endorsement, NIL endorsement for 2 weeks of your service.
And what if he gets there and he's like, "Oh, I don't know why you guys wanted me so bad. I don't know anything about this. I haven't really been
coach, guys.
participating that much."
All right.
You gotta
well,
understand the
that
reason
Dairy Queen
why-
NIL
The
deal
reason
is
why
now
I was suspended
reduced.
is because I didn't pay attention to anything.
Yeah. Thanks for the spot, though. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Go for Skyuma.
Yeah, Skyma.
Row the boat.
One thing about Rule is he does not let things linger.
No,
He did.
no, it happens pretty
he
quick.
did
huh?
handle what became an exit, I think, pretty well on Monday.
Correct.
It's in his balls in his court. We respect the young man, and then
Mhm.
just left it at that.
And they handled another situation quite well as well at the end of
Yeah.
last week.
Don't let things linger.
No.
Address them right away and move
Oh,
on.
look, I'm getting a spam call from Kansas City, Kansas.
Oh,
Maybe it's the
Picklers.
Pickleball Association.
Like, we heard what
I'll
you said
answer it.
about our pickleball.
Hello?
Mhm.
Yep, this is Connor.
Yes. Good morning.
We were talking about pickleball. I can kind of hear this, by the way.
Oh, it's just my lawn service company.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh, that's
They
kinda
want
like
let you know that you
I can't.
you
like,
have sufficient
they
amount
got
of
your
water.
sprinklers
I feel
on?
bad for hanging up on the guy, but I couldn't answer.
buy local, Connor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
is it
was
a guy who now
was
lives
it
here,
to
but he just
tell
had a
you
Kansas
that they
City
were
number?
coming to mow the lawn, or the sprinklers were on, or what?
Well, they're probably just asking me about their performance, and I would have told them, "You went to the wrong house twice."
Oh, did they
Oh.
perform a task at the wrong house?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, they did.
twice.
They were like,
Did they charge you twice?
one day I get home, and so they send me like a text, and they say, "Hey, your service is coming up, and your person is going to be at your house at this time." I'm like, "Great, I'll be home." So they send me that text, and it's like they're coming. I'm like, "Great," and then they send me a text about 20 minutes later, and they're like, "Your service is complete." I'm like,
Oh,
well, nobody was here.
No, it wasn't.
That
If that's what
seems
you call
difficult.
complete service, this is really a bad service. I want my money back.
So I called and I said, I think you messed something up. And then they said, okay, we'll come out and we'll fix it and we'll do it again. And we'll do it to the right house this time. I'm like, cool. And then the exact same thing happened again months
Oh.
later.
and you're
Really?
still with them?
I'm going to finish out the year.
Okay.
I'm going to
Fair.
finish out the cycle.
Do you need him to maybe do some fall preparation,
Did
some overseeding?
have they given you credits?
They came back and did a replacement service.
Right.
That's all.
You'll have to tell me who this is because I have one too, and
It's notable. It's a notable company.
yeah, ours is too.
Yeah.
And
Oh, that's
so
interesting because my lawn services, these bad boys right here.
nice, atta baby, atta baby. What's your rate?
Surprisingly cheap,
Oh, okay.
but you get what you pay for.
So
I had some clovers. that I
walked
didn't
by
take
some
care of.
really bad. So speaking of clovers, like some really bad, some bad lawns, and I noticed one of the major ones. They treated it, and you know how they put their little sign in there
same
the day
company.
they treat it.
Yeah.
There are just certain ones that I would think if you're that lawn company, be like, no, we do not want to have this sign in that yard because it looks like this is what we do to it.
Why do you
So-
have lawn service?
Right. Exactly. Like that is the biggest waste of money because you're not doing anything with it. So I would think like, yeah, you got to probably have some type of integrity of the lawns that you're actually putting that sign in because, you know, I get it why they're doing it, but yeah, I'd only want to do with like the most plush manicured lawns and not ones that are like overrun with weeds and cloves and all that stuff.
Who bought out Chemlawn? Remember when Chemlawn was
That would be
everywhere?
Chemlawn.
that would be True Green.
True Green,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
True Green Chemlawn. In fact, I think they go by still True Green Chemlawn.
Chemlawn would, when I was growing up, they took care of our yard.
Yeah.
They had the big truck and they bring the hose
Mhm.
out.
Well, I needed a service to sort of get me up and running. A new house. I inherited the lawn in pretty tough
yeah.
shape.
That was the exact same thing I did, and I just they've done fine. I've been able to stay on top of it, and I've seen difference. So I just stuck with them.
Now I'm probably done after this year. By
You're
the way,
you're gonna use your hands.
yeah,
you're gonna-
I'm
all
on the
right.
Josh plan
There
now.
you go.
These
Not me. I'm
days.
lazy.
So On 3 did their little transfer portal tweet for Miles Farmer, and the picture that they used is Miles Farmer holding the Heroes Trophy, and with the Nebraska helmet on top.
Yeah, buddy.
That's a nice little promotion to go. Hey, I'm a trophy winner.
Mhm.
Take me out of the portal. Good for Miles.
I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah, you're right.
It's gonna get scooped up somewhere.
We need a trophy winner on this team.
Yep.
Go get me a trophy
do.
winner.
It's good promotion. It's good promotion for Miles. Congratulations to him.
Yeah, he had an interesting month in November. Got a DUI, got suspended, and came back. And
So Mason Daniel makes a point. Where could he go for a place that is trying to build a team full of former Huskers? Is it still Oregon State? They got to be all gone by now.
they're gone by now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tyjon no longer there.
You go play with Casey at FAU.
You could.
You got a trip to Illinois.
Oh, there you go.
I think if I'm Minnesota, I contact him today.
I don't think Miami is getting him. So
Who's at Miami?
AJ Allen.
Oh yeah, I remember AJ Allen.
Yeah.
Guys, remember AJ Allen?
I do.
It was a while ago, but yes.
He
When I-
excited me a year ago.
Remember he
Very
got
excited
yelled
about
at at practice,
Mhm.
and everybody was like, "How dare that coach yell at that player?"
This is bad for our running back room.
I think that's what Mom said to the head coach at the time. Would Miles Farmer go back closer to home?
Where is home for Miles?
Atlanta. So
Georgia.
Jatek.
He should,
Oh.
yes, he
A
should,
dog corn.
yes, a dog corn. Corn dog, dog corn.
Wait a minute. Hold on here. You guys might be onto something.
Like Dylon
Is
Dog
he
corn.
the player to be named later?
in the MJ Sherman deal.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Was it Jacob Hood from there too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That one hasn't worked out that
Nebraska
We owe them.
acquired Hood and Sherman, and Miles Farmer is the player to be named later.
Yep. We owed them.
It would start what I believe should happen in college athletics, that we can have trades.
well. Well, it was originally supposed to be like a bigger player, but then once they realized they inherited Jacob Hood with chronic ankle issues,
Yeah. They're like, you know what?
they're
What'll do?
like, yeah, we'll just take Miles Farmer, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Miles Farmer's a pretty good player.
Dog corn.
Well, we did
Oh yeah,
that.
Eric Gilbert as well was a corn
Arik.
dog.
Yeah.
Arik, apologies.
I don't know.
But he
It's
may
Eric
not
or Arik.
play. He may not be available to play.
Well, they need. If he doesn't play, he needs to be dressed the first and the last guy off the bus.
So people were saying that about Arik, that he got his body into good condition.
Well,
I was very
so-
concerned about
waiting on
that.
that
in the
waiver
spring, in the
clearance.
spring, he was probably touching the scale at about 280.
Yeah.
Now he's down probably about 15 pounds, and on that frame,
Did he learn how to
6'7",
catch
265.
balls?
We're just looking at his frame right now. It's
Okay.
early. It's only 3 days into
Okay.
practice.
I would hope that he could catch some footballs at some point too.
Oh yeah, that happened.
Everybody's
too.
all concerned about this Arik Gilbert thing. I never plan on him being a factor for this team. I hope that he can.
I think if he's cleared and his body's
If-
right, he'd be a pretty.
No,
well, that's a
well-
lot of ifs, Nick.
Well, his body
Well-
looks right.
The mind might have to be the biggest thing.
Yeah.
If he's dialed in,
Brain surgery.
and yes,
Perform a lobotomy.
he's a guy. If you could get 30 catches out of him this year, you'd head over heels.
Be very happy about that. Of
Yes.
course, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it's not very high
I'm looking for
expectation.
more production.
Well, you have two guys that are in your tight end room that are in two of your top three that you have the what if. Can they blank? Fedoni and Gilbert.
But people forget about Borkircher.
No, he's in the top
Yeah,
three.
he's the guy.
Yep.
And then you have Fedoni. And then you have Arik. Or you maybe don't
Applegate.
have.
So Miles Farmer is the
Arik.
player to be named later. I hope he enjoys
That's good.
Georgia.
Mhm.
And then we'll all lose our mind when he goes there, and by the end of the year, he's starting.
So
Yeah.
like he can't
And
enter.
he's actually
He's-
making tackles
He's
in
in
space.
in a call.
So I believe
He's in a college football playoff.
he enters the transfer portal right now. That makes him ineligible for this season, right? I don't think you can do that.
Well, I think as long as academically he's eligible, he's good to go.
Well, if he's graduated, is he graduated? We don't know. I don't know. I don't know his academics.
Well, he hasn't. This will be his first transfer.
Right, but can't you not enter the portal at certain times?
Well, you're right. So that I don't know. He must be graduating here in a couple of weeks.
Could be.
Yeah.
So he'll have his degree. So he's eligible outside of the window.
If
You're right.
that's the
Good point.
case, he'd be eligible.
So he must be graduating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think you're doing
Or
that.
or,
Or he's
working at-
not
Or he's just not. Or he's
He's
retiring from football.
taking a
Or-
gap
yeah.
year.
And it's not. He's getting up there in age.
He earned his bachelor's degree from Nebraska in May of 2023.
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay, so
he's
he's eligible.
eligible.
He's eligible.
He's eligible.
Yep, that would make more sense then.
All right. So
Minnesota.
what number do you think he'll wear for the Gophers?
What was he last year for Nebraska? Like 8?
We're 8.
8.
How soon you forget?
Did I read
The
that?
man
Oh.
started 11 games last
I
year.
used to be so
Do you know-
good at
do you-
remembering everybody's number.
Oh, I know.
I know nothing now. It's amazing. I don't know how old anybody is, and I don't know anybody's number anymore. I used to be so good at that
Blasted
stuff.
COVID.
Seriously.
No, the class, yeah, everybody's eligibility. No clue.
Kyle says he could go to Rice and join up with Luke, the wide receiver McCaffrey.
Oh yeah, who was on some NFL draft watch
Well, there's
as a
nothing.
wide receiver.
He could do that. He could do
Yeah,
that
he's
as a
wide
wide
receiver now.
That it's almost like he should have
Wow.
listened to Nebraska when they said, "Hey, maybe
Yeah.
you should move to wide receiver."
Nope, quarterback.
And then he
That said so.
transferred to Louisville in a situation that already had a quarterback, and then he left after about a day. And then he said, "Okay, fine. I'll finally play wide receiver at Rice." He could have been a good wide receiver
That's
here.
fast.
All that time period, I get mixed up because wasn't Nebraska trying to play Tennessee, Chattanooga at the same time?
Somewhere around there, yeah. They were trying to get out of their game with Oklahoma.
Yeah. The mocks. That could be a good one for our fans. Bring in the mocks.
Yeah, then we could bring him in after inevitably Matt Rule gets a game canceled this year. There will be some sort of thing that happens with the schedule where it goes haywire. And
Freak snowstorm in Minneapolis.
yeah, Tennessee,
Yeah.
Chattanooga.
4 weeks from tomorrow.
It's a thunder snow.
Oh no,
No-
that means it's intense.
and
too.
then you go back to Lincoln, you play Tennessee, Chattanooga with starting safety Miles Farmer.
Redway Airlines went out of business. Nebraska can't fly to Minnesota.
We didn't talk about that, by the way. They canceled all those flights already. It took about a couple weeks.
So this leads to a discussion. Is Matt Rule in trouble? The airline that he brought to Lincoln is now taking off routes.
Yeah.
There's a guy that transfers 3 days into practice.
Oh, gosh. It's happening, guys.
This is a bad.
You knew
fall
it
camp
was
so far.
inevitable. At some point, we were going to get the major drama, and here we go.
I mean, we were able to make it until this week.
Mhm.
Why'd they have to start practicing?
It was a good run.
Why couldn't we
Seriously.
just drink Kool-Aid?
Once the football comes around, all of a sudden it starts.
Why does the football get in the way?
If it was
Always
only,
does.
If it was
Gary.
only that.
Always does. If it could just be off season all the time.
Yep.
Nebraska would never lose.
It's very true.
It'd be like LeVar
very,
Ball.
very true.
Oh, let's
Never
play a little game here.
lost.
I never lost.
What would be the outcome of a team full of, and you got to go probably 5, 6, 7 years to fill out spots, a team of former Huskers that have transferred against the current team?
Ooh.
Okay, wait. Repeat the question.
Okay, so you put together a team of former Huskers that have transferred
That are
again-
currently eligible.
Yeah, or
they're
they
current-
just in the last year lost their eligibility.
So Adrian can play quarterback.
Adrian
Adrian
Martinez
can play
would be
quarterback.
eligible.
Well,
All right.
I mean, maybe Tristan Gebbia would want to play quarterback. He's
That's true.
At Ohio
Like, the
State.
quarterback battle could be
Could
pretty
Tristan
interesting.
beat him out now? Couldn't do it before, but could he beat him out now?
Don't forget
Snake
about
team.
you got 4
Yeah.
guys that would be battling. You'd have McCaffrey if you
That's
want to
true.
play quarterback.
That's
Federal,
true.
Adrian,
Oh.
and Gebbia.
And
Oh
now,
my God.
And we all now that we know what we know, would it be different?
Oh my God.
See, this is could a
Could we put
team
Patrick
of
O'Brien in
former
there, too?
Huskers in the last 5 years beat the current team?
No. The answer is no. But I would like to see
Better
what
be no.
I would like to see
Yeah,
what
that
the
would, be,
team.
that would be good.
I'd like to see what the team would look like.
I mean,
mean,
okay, so
you'd have
AJ Allen would be a running
AJ
back.
Allen would be a
AJ
good
Allen.
running back. You got some
Now,
options at
Some
quarterback.
of our offensive linemen would be yeah.
Yeah, a little tricky.
I
That's
mean, Hunter
true.
Anthony would all of a sudden start.
Let's just say you played 7-on-7.
Okay.
Oh.
But you could put together a defensive line with Casey
Yeah.
Thompson and Jordan Riley.
So Tyjon Lindsey
Or
would have
Casey,
Tyjon
Rodgers.
Lindsey
That's
would
right.
have lost
But
his
we'd have a
eligibility last year.
5-man
Right?
race for the quarterback job.
You would. Can't we throw
Well, no,
Patrick
6,
O'Brien?
because what if Smothers wanted to come?
Oh,
Smothers
yeah,
is in
Logan's,
there, too.
and how we forget Logan Smothers.
What
So
if
small.
Richard Torres says, don't forget about me?
There could be.
Wait a minute.
There's
There's a
9
lot of quarterbacks
quarterbacks
in here that have left Nebraska in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
It's called
Wow.
Our Red Burns Brighter. We got it all across the country.
So
now.
Tyjon Lindsey would have been last year. Was his last year, right? He's
Yeah, he was like 31 in Corvallis.
so we could throw him in there in the wide
What
receiving
about
mix.
like Marcus Fleming? What he was?
Oh yeah,
he
there's
ended
a lot
up
of those Miami guys.
Henry Gray.
Mm-hmm.
You would
Was the linebacker Keyshawn Green?
Yeah, Keyshawn Green.
well, he has a little health issue. Wandale Robinson would be on this team.
Yeah,
Wandale's
Ooh.
ineligible. He's in the NFL. He's been
So
there
if,
for 2
so if
years.
they're in the
Wait a
NFL, but he just recently, like 2 years. So if they're in the NFL, then they're off the table.
He's been in the NFL for 2. This will be his second year in the NFL. I think he's off the table.
So what you're saying is
Okay.
he doesn't
So,
need to come back to the
Savion
team.
Morrison.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
there you go.
He needs the
He's
money. Running backs
backing
aren't
up-
getting paid though.
Backing up AJ Allen is Savion Morrison.
Um,
You got plenty of
tight
defensive
end,
backs.
tight end, we might struggle.
Yeah.
Wide receiver.
Yeah, they haven't had any tight ends that have left. I don't think.
Yeah, this might be a spotty team because that offensive line is going to look terrible.
Just we can do some 7-on-7.
Okay. All right.
Do some 7-on-7.
We got to be pretty good defensive back.
Couple
Got-
linebackers, couple
Got
defensive
decent-
backs.
Francois.
potentially decent running backs.
Francois, Jaden Francois.
People forget about him.
There was another defensive back in there too.
Oh, they were all from Florida and they all left.
Yeah, but recent.
Oh,
Noah Pola Gates.
Noah Pola Gates.
Yep.
Somehow still has eligibility. That's a thing.
This should
He
also,
could finally play.
Hey, this is also a fun game to play. They're still at Nebraska.
Yeah,
Mhm.
seriously. I was looking at my scholarship distribution the other day. I'm like, wow, that guy's here.
Ethan Piper does fit in that category.
Ethan Piper certainly does.
You're like, Ethan Piper's still at Nebraska.
There's some guys
he
that are
still
like
has eligibility.
there's some guys that are like sophomores, and I'm like, wow, that guy's still here.
what about Braxton Clark?
Braxton
DB.
Clark.
As a DB, there you go.
A good one.
Yeah.
You had a
We
nice
might have
DB
that.
room.
If we are gonna play 11-on-11, I vibe with you on 7-on-7. We might have to move some guys up to the next level. Like Braxton Clark may have to go and play linebacker, which I like our chances a little bit better.
There goes Miles.
You put him on the edge though,
Off.
so he can just get after the quarterback.
Who else would be on
Use
here?
that speed.
Guys that
Casey Rogers.
Yeah, Casey Rogers, Jordan Riley.
Yeah. So there you go. So there's 2 starting interior defensive linemen.
They were actually
Yeah.
good at Oregon.
Yeah. Surprising. What? And then okay, so let's do this. So who would coach them? It can't be Frost.
All of his staff.
No. So Tony Finotti would have a chance.
Tony Finotti.
Not Tony Finotti.
Oh, Tony Tuioti.
Oh, Tuioti. Okay, I'm
Tony
like, wait,
Tuioti.
why is Finotti getting in
Tony
this?
Finotti.
We're talking about former players
Same
now?
country. All right.
Tony Tuioti.
So Tony Tuioti would be up for coaching.
Eric
Okay.
Shenander.
Well,
Can we not do that?
Are we just doing position
how about
coaches?
they left while
Oh.
the current head coach was still here?
Okay,
Well,
They
Whipple.
departed.
Then
Whip-
we know who is running the quarterbacks, do we not?
So Verduzco,
Yeah.
Ryan Held,
Yeah.
I want Verduzco and Whipple on the same staff.
Matt Lubick, Troy Walters.
Troy Walters for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah.
Who's the head coach? Is it Troy Walters because he was the associate?
There's a
head
lot
coach?
of coaches. I mean, you do.
Well, then Matt Lubick was too. So is there a power struggle?
Who was the guy that Riley's staff ended up bringing in?
Bob Diaco.
What's John Perella doing nowadays?
Oh yeah.
I think he is
Just
he
hanging
might
out
be
in
doing
Lincoln?
some high school.
Is he doing
coaching.
high school again? What about? Do we have any?
Where's Reggie Davis?
Any interest in Danny Langsdorff?
Oh,
We have plenty of interest in Danny Langsdorff. I love Danny.
He was
Langsdorff.
nice.
hey.
Yes.
Super nice.
So I'm not so sure Reggie Davis knew what he was doing.
Whoa! What a take, Gary. Yeah, yeah. Why did it take you so long for you to say that?
Because I hadn't thought about his name in a while.
It's been 6 years.
I don't think
You've
running
been
back
sitting
coach,
on that one.
I know he was in the NFL prior. I just don't know that running back coach at Nebraska was his strength.
No, I'm not so sure either.
I just don't know that the college game was just not for him.
Well, he desperately did not want to play Divine Azigbo, and then he ran for 1,000 yards immediately
Just there's also part
after
of,
they ran out of options.
there's also part of the explanation of the running back position that I thought got away from him.
Pass blockers, baby. That's what we're doing. Blocking for Tanner Lee. What more could you want out of a running back?
Oh, Matt brings up we got our mainstay in the middle calling the defensive plays, Ernest Hausman.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Yeah.
Damn.
There's a few linebackers in there.
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy who was left off the fall 120 in former Iowa 8-man football star Seth Malcolm. I don't know if he's in the portal. He's still around over there. He didn't make the 120 though.
He's retired.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
He's
Never
perfect
played
for
him and Chase Andorf never played a snap at Nebraska.
Yes, and Androff.
Andorf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because I remember his name. All the time he
Andorf.
played.
Yeah. So yeah, we could put together an entire.
There'd be a squad.
Aaron says Trent Bray may be one of the best of the former coaches.
True.
Trent Bray,
Jonathan Smith loves him.
good coach,
Yeah.
good football coach.
I thought Trent Bray was really, really good.
Me too. Everybody thought that.
Yeah, he was because everybody said, well, he's going to be a recruiting guy.
Did you
How about
Cav?
defensively? He was one of the better linebacker coaches that Nebraska had.
That's actually true.
But he was under the Riley umbrella, so people didn't like Riley, so they immediately. But Trent Bray was the real deal. Like, there was that brief time. People forget Trent Bray was the interim head coach.
Trent Bray was the interim
Yes,
head
he was.
coach.
He was there for a week, getting all of the affairs in order.
What do you think Scott Frost said to Trent Bray when Scott Frost got here? Did he say anything to
No,
him?
I think as Scott Frost is coming in, Trent Bray had his boxes and was already just walking by and be like, good luck.
Trying to
Where you
think.
going, Trent? Oregon State.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you.
I don't know that Scott talked to every Riley assistant. Well, a lot of
we
those
know
guys,
he didn't talk to Cav because Cav sped out of the
Well-
parking lot.
well,
the day
Diaco
everybody
was
got
already
fired.
gone.
Yeah, Diaco was gone.
In his
like a lot
Argyle
of those
sweater.
guys, like when they, well,
Remember when Cav sped out out of the parking
Yeah.
lot the day everybody got fired? That was kind of funny.
you also had, so you know the story of, remember Mark Phillip,
I do.
who then was the strength and conditioning coach, and when he first got here, we all liked him because he
Everybody
was like
likes
had
to
all
see
this
it.
energy
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So they play Iowa that day, and Mark Phillip, his pulls up for game day, and his car is packed.
Already packed.
Yep. And he's like, boys, he goes, I will be on I-80 headed back to California at least 15 minutes after the game is over.
Yeah, at about 6 o'clock.
The
I'll be
game
out.
ended, walked off the field, grabbed something in his office, And out the door he went, got in his car, and never to be seen again.
Awesome. I mean, it's called efficiency. You need efficiency when you're traveling across the country.
Would
I
there
bet as he was driving through Denver, he was probably like, man, I'm making great time.
Do you think he was listening to the post-game call-in shows?
Yeah.
So I think if you were labeled as an interim head coach, would Mickey be allowed to come back?
Well,
Mickey could come back. He would be coaching the former Husker team against the current Husker team.
Could we bring back Coach Marcus?
certainly capable of galvanizing a group.
I think for one game.
Mm-hmm. You can get those boys going.
Yeah.
I just think Coach Marcus has to have a role on the sideline.
Coach Marcus.
Marcus Castro Walker. You know, the guy.
Oh,
with the
sunglasses
shades on?
guy.
Yeah, sunglasses guy.
Yeah. We get that guy in there.
We need an appearance. Just an appearance.
Coach Marcus. Who's this?
We need Coach
the
Marcus.
Same day where people also did a Twitter account of Frost Pants.
Oh yeah.
When they realized who that guy was that stood behind Frost.
Mm-hmm. Well, those pants deserved a Twitter account.
Oh, they had a. Let me just see if it's.
It was
still.
It was a consistent topic on a certain show on the network about older gals calling and saying he just needs to get loose pants.
No, you know where it started. David and I are doing a big red overreaction, and a lady calls in. doing a big red overreaction, and this lady calls in, and she was, like 4 or 5 margaritas in.
Whoa.
That's a lot of margaritas, according to the song.
We'd already made it to the back.
Not if you're the former head coach at Nebraska.
Yep.
For the record, it was not margaritas.
Okay.
Something else. But she was like, and I think Nebraska lost. Or no, they won. And she was like, you know what I most liked about the game is, man, did you see his pants?
Yeah.
And
that's a real topic.
So
Good call.
Goofy me was like, huh?
I used to call him a very specific thing that I can't
my co-host
say.
that day was like, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God. She goes, it was like, I mean, how could you not notice? And so I was egging her on. I was like, oh yeah. I go, that's what people on TV were talking about. She's like, really? And within seconds, the Scott Frost Pants Twitter account was created.
Oh.
Then the lady called back an hour later. She goes, I went back and listened to myself. I don't think I had a very good phone call.
No, it was amazing. We thank you for
Scout.
it.
We went over the film.
All right, I got one for you guys before we get you out of here.
Let's see here if this is still.
Check on the pants account, but I got a funny one for you before we get you out of here. So all of the details of the whole Iowa gambling thing are coming out now.
Yeah.
Here's the best one I've seen so far. Iowa walk-on kicker Aaron Bloom bet the under on the Cyhawk game
Elasico
in 2021. Iowa won 27-17. Over-under was 45. It hit. He wagered 170 times under his mother's name for $4,400 on DraftKings per the affidavit, and was underage at the time.
Oh. Wait. What? The over-under was what?
45.
And he bet the under?
And he bet the under. 44 hit.
Wow.
Yeah.
He knew.
That would have been almost a layup last year. But...
We tell our kids all the time, take the layup.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell even Iowa football players to say, no, you can't bet the under on Iowa and Iowa State. I think that's bad practice. Bad practice by all of us. Practice what you preach.
That's when you know your offense has hit the skids, when your own players are betting the under.
We always tell kids, bet on yourself.
Yes.
Hunter Deckers took it a little too seriously.
He did. Well, he wasn't playing that game.
The baseball player at Iowa, nearly 600. But they were like for minimal, like $1 here and there.
It was like $5.
Like Jack Mitchell.
Like the idea.
Yeah, he didn't even clear what, $2,700 total.
The consistent,
like 566 bets.
One of the consistent things here is that they all started accounts under their mom's names, and their mom would like run bets. Like what's going on?
Well, you know how they have like the Mother's Football 101 thing. Maybe they had a little sports gambling, little group, mother's
that's what
group.
it's starting to sound like. They had a whole ring on the side.
Like
Iowa Athletics, Iowa State.
So I would like to see text messages of, "Hey mom, I'm feeling this one. This is what we should do."
Mom, hit the under for me.
Mom,
I know it's minus 120, but you pay that.
Now the line
He's like, no, I'm into a parlay here. I'm into a 3-game parlay.
I know it's minus 135, but come on, you just got to take that juice.
What if mom is standing in the line at Prairie Meadows and she's on the phone with her son in Iowa City? Yeah, let's go $5 on. Let's do $7 on a 9-leg parlay.
I wonder if there was any live bets to where they called their moms and said, "Hey, coach just came up to me and said our defense is going to have to win this. Take the under for the rest of the game."
Yeah. Can we do an in-game adjustment here? Come on, let's go. Oh my gosh.
So dumb.
Every once in a
so
while,
dumb.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I brought this up to Nick earlier. What is dumber? So play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The Hunter Decker betting $7 9-leg parlays, or a college baseball coach putting down a $100,000 bet at a shop that does less than $10,000 a day.
Yeah, I mean,
if that's not a red flag,
it's hard to tell which one is more dumb.
Because adults who should know better are involved in both matters.
A college baseball coach at Alabama.
Yeah.
Which
The
might
Gumps.
be the dumbest thing in the history of sports gambling. And it might not be close.
I don't know. They're all pretty dumb.
Yeah.
But so
It's all pretty dumb.
So are you ready to connect dots with a Nebraska connection?
I already, yes. Yeah.
I think you have to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Until something's resolved on Aaron Eulis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's easy to go there.
Because all of a sudden,
There's a reason why the coach ain't talking about it. He ain't
Yeah.
touching
and all of a sudden he's not, when there's a chance to be in public or to play, it's
And he's not playing
I mean,
for the rest of the trip.
That's so
And
this
we
the
don't know
Hunter
when.
Decker stuff has been out there because why wasn't he at Big 12 Media Day?
Right.
They're immediately going, whoa, he's like one of the more well-known players in the conference returning. So
Yep.
But as Kurt Ferentz asked at Big Ten Media Days, what about the weed?
how come Fleck wasn't asked that? Yesterday started recreational weed in Minnesota.
Mm.
You guys didn't know.
I didn't know.
I
that.
didn't know.
Important note.
For everybody
8-1.
that's traveling up there 4 weeks from
It is good to
Thursday.
know. Yeah.
4 weeks from tomorrow, guys.
Isn't
I
that
know.
amazing?
Well,
4 weeks from today, you're probably getting in your car and you're going to the Mall of America.
or you're going to Lincoln to go to Memorial Stadium.
That's true. 94,000 people.
Yeah.
Are you not going to go to that?
Got to get that Scotty McCreery.
I don't
concert.
know. I don't know. Because I would really like to go to the football game.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, I probably will not be available for volleyball day.
So you know that there will probably be a convoy of cars from what about 9 o'clock on Wednesday night driving your favorite route.
There's safety numbers.
It's not bad.
From Omaha to Des Moines.
Yeah, that's bad.
And then Des Moines to the cities.
Yes. And everybody's staying right by the Mall of America. And then you go into the Mall of America on Wednesday night or on Thursday all day because the game's at night.
Mm-hmm.
And you see just a horde of people wearing red shirts and Hot Topics. or the 9 lids that they have in the Mall of America.
Yes.
Or Hooters.
And Hot
Yeah, why can we?
Or on the ride.
We all
on
like
the log ride.
Hey, we all like ball caps. Can we
I love
address
the
this real
log
quick?
ride.
You're right. Mall of America has like 9 locations of lids. Why do a lot of malls have 2 locations?
I don't
Is
know.
one not enough?
Yeah, one should be plenty.
Not if you're the Mall of America,
No,
Gary.
but no, he's right. For standard malls that you know are standard capacity, why do you need 2? If you need more space, why don't you just make a bigger lids?
If you feel
It's not about
people
space,
aren't
Nick. It's
able
about
to
accessibility.
find
Yeah.
your lids, then
You tell me you're confined to the lower level. You can't make it up to the
And
upper
you go,
level.
you go to the one lids, you're like, okay, does the other lids have anything different? No,
Well, yeah,
it's the
exactly.
same hats.
No, it's the same.
hat.
They got the same deals going on and everything.
But I go in both every time.
The same rewards, opportunities, all that. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot.
These are vital questions.
Aaron says that shows how lame Nebraska fans are. Minneapolis is such a good city, and that's legit the last place I want to go. The Mall of America. Oh, come on. You got to go to the Mall of America. It's the Mall of America.
No, I would not. Go
It's
there.
America's mall.
Go to Surly.
You'd go to the theme
Yeah,
park.
see that would interest me.
You'd go to the amusement park. Ride the log ride. The log ride's great.
We went. We stopped by the Mall of America.
Don't spend a lot of
Me
time
and a
in
couple buddies went up to Duluth to watch an Omaha Duluth hockey series, and on our way back, we stopped at Mall of America.
America.
But we did for a bite to eat.
Great
and
food
So,
court.
no, I'm going to give you
Shake Shack.
skip Mall of America. It's not very far from Huntington Bank Stadium. Go to the fair. Go to the Minnesota State Fair.
I was told by some Minnesotans about the fair and the things that
Get
they
yourself
have
a bucket of cookies and then peruse the.
That's
fair.
what. So I was
bucket of
talking to
cookies.
Sam Hybe about this, and
Yeah.
she was all about it. She's like, "You have to go get the bucket of cookies. Go to the state
Wait,
fair."
what is a bucket of cookies?
It's a buck. It's exactly
Pretty
what
exactly
it
what
sounds
it
like.
is?
Yeah,
It's a bucket of cookies?
Yeah.
Why do you need a bucket of
The
cookies?
butter cow.
That's
that-
Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Why do you need a bucket
Caitlin
of
Clark
cookies?
has a butter statue this year at the state fair.
Of
in
course
Iowa.
she does. Because the Hy-Vee statues are not enough. The Hy-Vee cardboard cutouts are not enough.
Yeah, I would go to the state fair than go to Mall of America.
I'm
But-
in
but-
on the Mall of America.
But if
I
you
like
go to the Mall of
America.
America, you can ride the train all the way to the football stadium.
Exactly. You could go to Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Now,
Nothing
it-
says tourist like
yes,
Bubba Gump.
nothing
Shrimp.
says Twin Cities, Minnesota flavor than bubblegum shrimp.
That's what I'm all about. Shrimp, so many different ways.
I was blown away
you could
on the
fry
wharf
it.
in
You
San
could
Francisco.
saute it.
They actually have a location,
Put
and
it
I'm
on
like, how are
shrimp
the
kebabs.
locals not just irate?
I would be too. But guess what? It's packed, baby.
I know, which
Just like Bubba Gump Shrimp
and
inside
everybody
the Mall of
takes-
America.
and everybody takes a picture of Tom Hanks sitting on the bench outside of the entrance to Bubba Gump Shrimp.
It's
Sit on the
America,
bench
Gary.
next to him. I'll take a picture of you. Honey.
It's America. It's like you're in It's like you're in Forrest Gump.
It's true. We all wanted to be.
And then you say the line, "Life is like a box of chocolates."
And the people that work in there are miserable because all they do is they deal with customers that repeat the lines from the
Yep.
movie every single day.
They say, "What kind of shrimps do you have?" And you say, "Well, we got all kinds of shrimps."
the outdated,
Yeah.
slightly problematic lines of Forrest Gump.
I'm in on the Mall of America. I don't go there every time, but I
Yeah.
like it. I want to say here that I like the Mall of
Good
America.
for you. It
Do you
does
at
nothing
least-
for me?
So I have faith in you. Do you at least go when you go into it's? I don't think it's called Camp Snoopy anymore. They
No.
changed the name.
Yeah,
But you know that they have the Harmon Killebrew seat up on the wall.
of course.
Okay, so you
And
go
home
see that,
plate.
and they got home plate.
Yeah, they got the home
where the
plate
Met
of,
used to
of the
stand.
Met. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is actually kind
Okay.
of cool.
And then I
But
imagine.
again, once
what would
you've
this
seen
be
it,
like
you
if
don't need to see it again.
Then I imagine, what would this be like if it was a baseball stadium?
Yeah.
And then I say, worse than the Mall of America. I'm glad that the Mall of America
Well,
exists.
I don't know. You know what? Do they have any
America's
remembrance
Mall.
of the Met Center? Because the Met Center where the North Stars played was right there as well.
I don't believe they do.
Wow.
They
Man,
got a-
they hated Norm Green.
They got a
That's
couple.
Well, the other thing
they got
about
a
the Mall
couple.
of
They got a
America-
couple hockey shops in there too.
It's very, very close to the airport.
yes, it's right. Basically across the
It's one
across
train
494.
one train stop away.
Yeah.
From the airport.
All right.
Yes, you need to talk to Minneapolis Tourism. See if you could be the voice of the Mall of America.
Come to the Mall of America. It's a great time. You can get lids in any corner of the mall.
Let's go to this now. State Fair.
If
go
you
to,
need lids,
go hang out.
get lids here.
hang out in Dinkytown. School will not have started yet, so it won't be as crazy.
I've never been totally impressed by the area where the stadium is, except for
Eh,
I go over to the Surly thing all the time,
yeah,
which is a great place with excellent pizza.
it's a nice campus to walk across.
Surly campus.
Yes.
Joel says, "I bet you like Wall Drug too." I kind of do. Yeah, good call, Joel. I like Wall Drug.
So when you're driving through South Dakota and you see the sign, you
Oh yeah.
you pull off.
Oh, I've been to Wall Drug a couple times.
Did you buy a bumper sticker?
I went on the the jackalope. You know the jackalope at
No.
Wall Drug. You
I've
gotta sit
never
on the.
been to Wall
You
Drug.
gotta sit at the jackalope.
I've not been to the Corn Palace. I've not been to Wall
I've never
Drug.
been to the Corn Palace, sadly.
I
My-
have been to the
my-
Corn Palace.
You
in
gotta
Mitchell.
go to the
And
tourist trap.
I've been to the Corn Palace in Mitchell,
You know
South
what I
Dakota.
do in South Dakota? Stay on 29. The only time I get off 29 is to go to Sioux Falls, Brookings, or Vermilion.
But what about when you have to go all the way across on 90 and you're going 150 miles an hour?
That's never going to happen for me.
What do you play for?
You
Mount
haven't driven
Rushmore-
to the you haven't driven to the Black Hills?
No.
You gotta go. It's lovely. Stop at Wall Drug with the
Oh.
jackalope.
I like going to cities that have things in them.
Bad take, Josh.
Not, ooh, come out and look at this tree.
How is a
Look
drug
at the hills. They're black.
How is a how is a drugstore a tourist?
Have you been to Deadwood? Have you played?
No.
No, come on.
I
You gotta play table games at Deadwood.
I have been to South Dakota State, South Dakota, and Sioux Falls in South Dakota, and that's good for me.
No, you got to see it all, man.
And I've been to Flyboy Donuts.
You
which
go
is
up
off
there
Lowpath.
during Sturgis, and all of the motorcycle riders will be going. "Rrrm." You could fit in at Sturgis.
Oh, I bet. Assless chaps, I'm there, baby. What is in okay? So I see the sign, and it's a little small sign when you're driving on 29 about Wall Drug.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh,
Is it just a like fancy drugstore where I've heard this.
No.
Every kid
it's
in
not
that
a drugstore
town,
at all.
every kid in that town works
there.
at Wall Drug.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, it's a huge tourist attraction, Gary. It's not just a CVS.
So it's like a CVS Walgreens combined?
No, it's not. There's no drugs really at Wall Drug.
So how can you be Wall Drug and there's no drugs? What are you going to Wall Drug to get?
Not drugs.
Like you get they have a soda fountain?
They have a soda fountain for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. And
This is
good
weird.
times.
I've heard of it. I've just never really paid attention.
Chicken fried steak. They got that.
Oh, you can shop online. Look at that.
Yep.
At Wall Drug.
I'll wear my Wall Drug shirt.
The bumper stickers are 15 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Because
So
it's like the olden times.
It's Americana.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you can sit on the jackalope.
How far off of 29 is it?
It's not on 29 at all. It's
well,
on,
I know.
It's on
but
90.
You got to understand. I don't want to leave Interstate 29.
It's like 6 hours off of 29.
But why do they advertise it when you get towards Sioux Falls? They make it sound like it's like the next
No,
exit.
it's several hundred miles away.
That's where they get you.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
Keep going just a little bit further.
You're
I live
almost there.
vicariously through you.
All right. Well, I'm just saying. I've seen America. You guys haven't.
So you've seen the Black Hills, Deadwood.
Wall Drug.
Have you seen Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore.
Corn Palace?
I've never been in the Corn Palace.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I have.
Have you seen the home of Kelly Pfeiffer?
No.
He's from South Dakota.
I didn't know that. He's from the Black Hills?
He lives,
Rapid City?
I think he lives outside of Mitchell, South Dakota.
Oh, okay.
So he's near the Corn
No,
Palace.
I've never visited K5. He got a new haircut last year, though. I appreciated it.
He did.
Stopped with the bowl cut, which is good.
Fran McCaffrey, I'm sure, went on vacation on the lake by Kelly Pfeiffer's house.
All right, you guys got to go. Bye. Goodbye. That is the crossover. It's powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. We'll start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Most of the heavy rain wrapping up today. We'll just be left with some shower chances through the evening hours. We'll hit a high near 80 degrees. It'll have a chance of showers consistently throughout the night hours as well. We'll wake up with another chance of showers till about 9 a.m., a temperature in the low 70s, and cloudy skies remaining for the rest of the day. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
August 11th is Corn Chasers Night with the Omaha Storm Chasers against who else but the Iowa Cubs. The first 500 fans take home a free foam corn head presented by Pepsi, and the Chasers will take the field in special corn jerseys. Don't miss corn-themed concessions, in-game promotions, and more presented by the Nebraska Corn Board. Tickets at omahastormchasers.com.
Omaha Storm Chasers family. Everyone get on your feet, stir up the storm with family.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Let us talk about the three most surprising things about modern LASIK at Kugler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Kugler Vision's leading edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number two? How comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you are relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this for number three, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Kugler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Kugler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Kugler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at kuglervision.com.
Attention sales professionals. NRG Media is looking for an accomplished business-to-business salesperson who wants to take their success and skills to a new level. Is this you? Our account executives work with local businesses to create marketing plans to help them get more customers. On air, digital, on-site, audio, video, it's all part of what you can sell. A sales career with NRG lets you make a real difference. Get more info and apply online at nrgmedia.com. NRG Media is an equal opportunity employer.
0.05 seconds. That's how long it takes users to form an opinion about a website. If you're unsure that your website meets today's standards, go to jmonline.com and book a call with an expert today. At JM Online, we redesigned our own website last year, a project that has already delivered us a positive ROI. From advanced micro interactions to a beautiful mobile design, check out what we're capable of at jmonline.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source by your mom's house.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone. It's the Connor Happer Show with Connor Happer and Josh Otson. Let's get ready to rumble.
Licensing of the phrase "let's get ready to rumble" just over the last 7+ years internationally is grossed approximately close to $400 million in retail sales.
Really? You guys look like, what do they look like, Jimmy?
Dorks. They look like a couple of dorks.
On 1620, The Zone.
All right, good morning and welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. I'm Connor Happer. Josh Hodson is there.
Hello, hello.
And it is Wednesday, and we'll bring back the tweet bag today. We missed it last week via Big Ten Media Days. It's okay. And we beef it up with $50 to Timber Creek today. If you ask a question, you may be selected to win $50 to Timber Creek. We have questions coming in already. Tweeted us at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone X feed, or at Connor Happer, or email Connor at 1620thezone.com in the Equitable Bank inbox. We'll get them however you send them in. But if you tweet, maybe try and use the hashtag tweetbag. It helps us keep everything a little bit in order. Also on the show today, Mitch Sherman will join coming up at the bottom of the hour. Plenty of camp things to talk about with Nebraska. Robin Washut of Husker Online will join in the noon hour, and we'll talk about the basketball. That's right. The Huskers are in Spain. And I imagine we'll talk some
I'm so excited to go to Spain.
Is that from something?
That's from the Babel commercial.
I haven't seen that movie.
No, the Babel commercial
No,
that we
I
play
know.
11 times a day.
Yeah, Babel. People forget about Babel. As I mentioned, just some incredible details coming out from the Iowa State gambling, I don't know, ring, maybe you might want to call it. Or maybe we have individually all these players who are telling their moms to sign up for gambling accounts on FanDuel or DraftKings or whatever, and setting up that way. Well, we were getting some of the details. As I mentioned earlier, a walk-on kicker for Iowa decided that it would be a good idea to bet the under on Iowa State in 2021. The over-under was 45. The total ended up being 44. And so he won the bet. He wagered 170 times under his mother's name for $4,400 on DraftKings, allegedly. So now you get into the we get into the world now where all this stuff is allegedly, because some of these are criminal charges, especially if you're doing it underage, like some and many of them were. We'll get into the details of that as we go on throughout the show today. We'll talk about the Pac-12. We'll update you on the Pac-12. We'll discuss some things with that conference that maybe no more soon. And we'll take you through a couple things that happened at practice yesterday, hearing from Tony White and Terrence Knighton, pot roast. They don't call him Coach Pot Roast. They call him Coach Knighton. Very sad about that, Josh.
I mean, I understand the respectful nature. Maybe as the season drags on.
Hey,
we
Coach
can-
Pot,
Yeah.
what do I have to do to get some playing time?
Coach Roast.
Coach,
What do I got to do?
Mr. Roast. That's Mr. Roast to you. So we'll get through a couple of those things. And I'm elated today because my Kansas City Royals were good and they won in a dramatic way.
Don't let them get
Don't let them get hot. What did I tell you?
Too late.
This is what happens every single year. They're completely horrible for the first couple months of the season. You lose attention, and then all of a sudden, when nothing matters anymore in August and September, and nobody knows who's on what team, all of a sudden, that's where the Royals jump in and they like pull off a 500 record down the stretch. I'd be elated about that. That is the lineup powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. And once again, you can get in touch with the shows at all the ways aforementioned, the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, the Equitable Bank inbox, and of course, the 42 Degrees, the Source hotline at 402-951-1620. Give us a call there. Send us a text there as well. You can text in for the tweet bag. Even if it's a text, it's still a tweet. Also, news this morning coming in from Nebraska. Miles Farmer, previously suspended safety, Nebraska's second leading tackler last year. Thank you, Josh.
2.
Second leading tackler, Utah. Give me 2. Last year, he had been suspended for, I don't know whether it's the foreseeable future or what the word that they use is indefinitely. We'll see how it works out. According to Matt Rule yesterday and today, or I'm sorry, Monday, and today he is in the portal. He's in the portal. Where does he go? Does he end up on a roster before the season starts? I don't know, but never seemed completely engaged in what was going on here. That'll happen, and Nebraska's going to be without one of their top guys. Now, the positive part about it is that you have a defensive backfield that is more than willing and able to pick up the slack there for a veteran guy. In fact, I think in some ways that's the way Nebraska sort of prefers it. Hey, we have an opportunity now to get some younger guys in there and to really work on what we're going to be doing in the future. We got a question already on the tweet bag that I'm excited to talk about from Brian. I'll just read it to you and keep it in mind. With all the buzz around the coaching staff, what will be the biggest disappointment that we'll see from this team, and what side of the ball will be most exciting to watch? Yeah, I think, it's going to be a work in progress for the defense. And Miles Farmer leaving doesn't necessarily add to that a whole lot, but I do think it'll be a work in progress because of what I just mentioned. I think they're going to take it a little bit slow, and they're going to do what they're trying to do. And usually transition years and first years of that aren't necessarily pretty. So I'll answer that a little bit more in depth.
I got a bit of breaking news over on this side of the board.
Go on throughout the show. Yes. I think I know what you're going to say.
During the crossover, we talked about a large national.
We talked
attraction.
about a great place, the Mall of America,
and I was curious
where
what
people will make their pilgrimage to 4 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, I was interested in what the audience thought of the Mall of America. So I asked a poll question on X at Happer Show.
X Twitter feed.
Mall of America? Question mark? Yes or no? The Mall of America has liked it.
I would like a response from the Mall of America.
Yeah, they're watching. They're aware of it.
Well, they watch everything. Didn't you ever watch the Mall of America cop show?
Nope.
I always mention this show, Josh.
You do.
One of my favorite shows. It was on like Discovery Channel or something like that, and it was all of the things that happened in the Mall of America, and they followed around the cops, the security officers, and they followed a day in their lives. What's going on in the Mall of America today? It's a good place. We already got it. We got a tweet bag question from Joel who asked, "What's your favorite tourist trap?"
Yeah,
I got to say the Mall of America is pretty high up there for me.
Yeah,
I like the Mall of America. I'm not afraid to say it. Now, do I need to go there every time? No, but it is a great one-stop shop for everything you might need, including 9 hats. You bet. You bet it is. Mitchell tweets in, he asks, why wasn't Farmer second string in the spring? Yeah, I don't think he ever really figured into significant playing time just with the way he was going about his business. It just never seemed like a really good fit, it seemed like, with the staff. So I don't know that Nebraska was depending on him this year. But the headline is Nebraska loses their second leading tackler from last year. So it's not terribly significant. And I think these things, when you have roster movement in the summer before a new coach, they tend to sort of go in one ear and out the other because you're starting fresh and you really don't know where people stand. And like I said, I think they want to go with a little bit of a youth movement. Think about a guy like Nick Henrich, who is coming back off of a knee surgery. One of the undoubted leaders on the team, right? Has played a significant role over the last couple of years. You figure that guy is lined up for significant playing time and a heavy load on his shoulders. I'm not sure that Nebraska views it that way. I'm not sure that Tony White views it that way. Whether it's a football fit thing or hey, we would like to, instead of putting so much on your shoulders right out of the gate and trying to win as many games as we can with you learning a new defense and all of that stuff, we're going to get some other guys in there as well, and we're going to prepare for the years to come. We're going to develop. A commitment to development for Nebraska. So think about that as when you think about the defense. And with that comes a learning curve. That's for sure. All right. We are off and running here on a Wednesday. Once again, Mitch Sherman will join us at the bottom of the hour. We got a few things coming in the text line as well. Jace Curtad asked, shouldn't it be the X bag? I don't know. I'm not all the way around to officially calling it X yet.
Well, the website is still twitter.com.
Yeah, you go to twitter.com. It still brings you to X. So
it is a good question, though. It's fair.
I don't know how well that's going to catch on for Elon.
Well, they don't own the trademark for X. Microsoft does.
Well, it's hard to own a trademark for X.
Well, Microsoft owns it.
For the letter X. Well, yeah, they were in on it a long time ago.
Do you think they just snatched up the trademark for every letter just in case?
Be a good plan.
It would.
That's what I would have been doing.
Yeah.
If I could go back in time, I would just go back to like 1925 and snatch up every trademark and patent possible. Just for names of things.
Mm-hmm.
That way, anytime anybody tries to start something, they have to pay me. That's a pretty good get rich quick scheme,
It
Josh.
is.
All I am is a time machine short.
Requires no work on your part.
Not at all. It's very simple.
You don't have to think of anything. You don't have to invent anything. You don't have to build anything.
Nope. They just get to say words.
Yep.
It's really good. All right, we'll come back. I want to discuss the Pac-12 and the sort of movement there that happened yesterday, which is the Pac-12 saying to their schools, hey, here's some details about our TV kind of deal. It's not known to us, the details, I think in large part because the details of the impending media deal wouldn't even be decided until the subscriber numbers come in. It looks worse and worse for that conference every single day. But we'll talk about what happens going forward. Is it time for the Big Ten to strike? We've known the Big Ten's position on this for a long time. They have said, we do not want to be the conference that murders the other conference. Well, Josh, I don't know if it'd be murder anymore.
Might be a mercy killing.
It might be, yeah, maybe. So does that change things for the Big Ten as it pertains to a couple schools in the Pac-12? That and plenty more coming up next on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Now live on Twitch, YouTube, and 1620thezone.com.
Do you have big plans for your business? Get access and get growing. If you need a commercial loan or line of credit, the experts at Access Bank can help you get financing that fits your dreams. We're dedicated to supporting owners and entrepreneurs like you on a timeline that fits your schedule, because we're here for a reason, to help Omaha grow. Get started today at accessbank.com. That's accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Union Omaha. A couple more home matches coming up this week. One on Wednesday, one on Saturday, and great specials as well, including $2 night on Wednesday. Tickets for the Berm area, beer, pop, and a whole lot more. Go to the website today, unionomaha.com, and purchase your tickets. It's a great atmosphere. The only professional soccer club that we have in the state of Nebraska. I love going to Union Omaha matches. You will too. unionomaha.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
From local town councils to Capitol Hill, agents who are realtors are standing up for what's right. We're here protecting property rights. Here advocating for the issues that affect our neighborhoods. Here championing fair and equitable housing for all. Because we are realtors, bound by a code of ethics, driven to serve our communities. We're here for it all. Here for you. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
If we've learned anything from recent news, it's that unexpected things are happening. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Government emails are hacked. There's talk of how to fight World War III, and trade of grains and food are being disrupted. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing, but you know better. It's time to invest in self-reliance and emergency food storage now, more than ever. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to mypatriotsupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunch, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. Last year, PACE served over 5,000 area kids with wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Oh boy, here we go. A tweet from Brett McMurphy, famous most on
whose birthday is it?
X for telling coaches happy birthday.
It's Kirk Ferentz's birthday this week.
We're all watching how old's Kirk turn?
104.
Looking younger every day. Brett McMurphy tweets the following, or Zeets or Yeets or whatever it is. We're all watching for conference realignment stuff at this point. It feels like the Pac-12 is a conference that is a ticking time bomb at this point. And we're closely watching Arizona and Arizona State. Brett McMurphy tweets, Arizona State is switching football stadium names.
Oh, got me.
Sun Devil Stadium will now be called Mountain America Stadium. Mountain America Stadium, Josh.
Mountain?
Interesting.
Like the conference that bears its name.
The Mountain West.
Yeah.
Zip. We're changing directions. We're going to the Mountain West. So yesterday, Pac-12 Commissioner George Kliavkoff, he presented the conference's presidents and chancellors with a potential subscription-based Apple streaming deal for its television contract that expires after this school year. Once again, reminder of what makes all this possible is that the Pac-12 was last to the table, as all of these conference Tier 1 media rights have run out and have since been renewed. Where the Big 12, remember they said the Big 12 did it in haste? They did it too quickly? I don't know. They beat Pac-12 to the punch, and Pac-12 is left on the outside looking in. While several options, according to Pete Thamel, were presented, the Apple streaming deal emerged as the likely leader at this point, bringing some clarity to a lengthy process that frustrated many within the league and ultimately played a role in Colorado's decision to leave to join the Big 12. Monetary and exposure questions still loom, though, and outside pressure from the Big 12 remains. There are not expected to be any imminent decisions on whether this TV deal is enough to appease Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah, which are being heavily courted by the Big 12. The Arizona Board of Regents, which oversees Arizona and ASU, met yesterday, but no decision is expected after the meeting. So they presented a deal. Finally, right? And as I said all along, you want to know why we're not talking about the details of the deal? It's because they know the second they present the details of the deal, the other schools in the conference will say, oh no, that's not going to work for us. And then they will leave. So the rubber has finally met the road here. And guess what, folks? It's not good, because it seems to me that it's with Apple, you'd be streaming only, and a lot of it is incentive laden. We have these projections that are out there. There's low end, there's middle, there's high end. I remember in the Pac-12's deal last time, it was heavily influenced by the Pac-12 network, and they came in under the low mark of what they thought was going to happen. It's already a conference that is hemorrhaging value. It has certainly hemorrhaged more value without USC and UCLA, now without Colorado, and not that that does a whole lot. Certainly without USC and UCLA, it does. And now that we have a deal sort of presented, it's, spoiler alert, Josh, not so good.
Oh, not good.
Not good.
Oh, a lot of people have apples, though.
And so this will finally make all the other Pac-12 schools, okay, we have something in front of us. What's a better option? Sign on to this deal where our money, our payouts from the conference TV deal are IDK going forward, or do I go to a different conference that is either A, the Big 12 in Arizona State and Utah's case, and they know the figure that they would be brought into the conference in because the Big 12 had it written into their next media deal. Or if you're Oregon and Washington, do you go to the Big 10 and say, we would like to join you guys, and guess what? We will pay you to do so. We could take it at a discount. You don't have to pay us as much as the rest of your conference members. It's a win-win for everybody because guess what? We're actually making money by joining the Big Ten, even though it's not as much money as, say, Rutgers or Ohio State or Michigan State or Nebraska. You could guess what that decision is going to be. I think it's a ticking time bomb. I think the conference is, I mean, we've been saying this for a while now, but like I said, the rubber is finally meeting the road. So the question is, will the Big Ten, we know the Big Ten has long taken the stance of, well, not long, but they've taken the stance of, we don't want to be the one to pull the trigger. We have a gun. We could shoot it. We don't want to shoot it. We'd rather not shoot it and have the conference just die itself. That's sort of a morbid analogy. I apologize. But we don't want to be murderers. We don't want blood on our hands. So if Arizona and Arizona State and Utah leave for the Big 12, you're left with 6 Pac-12 conference members. Oregon and Washington have already been pining for, their entrance into the Big 10. Would it be okay morally at that point for the Big 10 to say, okay, yeah, we'll take you. It's a good deal for us. It's a great deal for you. No matter how bad of a deal it is for the Big Ten, and it won't be bad. They won't take them if it's a bad deal for the Big Ten. But it's a better deal for Oregon, Washington because they don't have to sign on to the streaming conference. I'm sorry. I know we've talked about the future of television a lot, and I know I sound old school on this show. But a streaming-only deal is not going to cut it. It's not time. I don't know when it will be time. I think a lot of the conferences or, just TV executives, whatever, they say, this is the way it's going to be soon. This is the direction it's heading. The viewers, if you want them, they are on linear television. And more specifically, network television. Fox, NBC, CBS. It's part of the reason why the Big Ten's deal is so good. They're across all of those networks. Yes, everybody has ESPN. Yes, everybody has, Fox Sports 1 or whatever by now. But that's where the real money comes from because that's where the viewers come from. And not only are you not on cable, but you're on a subscription streaming service that people literally have to have extra to watch you. Do a lot of people have it? Sure.
But it's not
enough.
It's not Netflix or Amazon where
correct.
Well, I have Amazon for the NFL, so yeah, okay, this is added value. Or, well, I have Netflix already. My eyeballs are there already, so the Pac-12 is smart by going where the eyeballs are at Netflix. Nope, that's not what this is. This is Apple.
This simply just doesn't work yet.
Yeah.
It doesn't. And I think every school in the Pac-12 knows it, and my guess would be that there's some movement on this front soon. Ross Dellinger wrote out some options on sort of what happens to remaining schools. Option 1, he says, the 6 schools, so this is the Pac-12 now without Arizona State, and Washington. So it leaves, it leaves Oregon, Washington, Cal, Stanford, Oregon State, and Washington State. He says the 6 schools add known expansion targets like San Diego State and SMU, as well as other programs from the Mountain West. There are 2 problems here. For any Mountain West programs to begin playing next fall, the exit fee is about $34 million, as San Diego State well knows. Another problem, replacing Colorado, Arizona State, and Utah with these options likely drops the value of the league considerably and thus the potential TV deal. That's option 1. Doesn't sound good, Josh, does it?
No, it does not.
Option 2. These 6 schools merge in some way with another league to form what might be a new conference. Is the 10-team Mountain West interested in a merger to create a 16-team Western League? Would the ACC, long in discussion with the Pac-12 over a partnership, be interested in merging in some way? These are distant and maybe even highly unlikely scenarios. Although I will say this, that one doesn't sound so bad if you're trying to just keep the Pac-12 alive. And then there's option 3. Each of the 3 groupings go its own way. Oregon State and Washington State are sensible additions to the Mountain West. Stanford, Cal, Bay Area academic institutions could become independents, especially the Cardinal. And what about Oregon and Washington? The Big Ten has been the connecting piece there. But they have long said they're not interested. Does this change things? I think maybe. So who's going to be the next to jump? And then there's the whole Florida State thing, which is kind of going on right now as well. Florida State, Clemson, Miami. Many of those schools are realizing, hey, this whole revenue sharing thing and this long TV deal doesn't quite work for us. This is not the end of the movement. That's for sure. Mitch Sherman is coming up in just a moment. But as we hinted at a little bit earlier, here's a headline via the Iowa State gambling situation. Former Hawkeyes basketball guard Aaron Eulis, that would be current Husker guard Aaron Eulis, allegedly placed almost $2,000 sports wagers, including at least one on an Iowa sporting event, according to a new court document. Allegedly. That may be the reason why we are not seeing him active in Spain. And may not see him active again. We'll have more on that as we go on throughout the show. Obviously, Robin will join us at 12:30. Coming up next, Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. A lot to talk about with him next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
Oh, yeah. Listen to that baby. Oh, my God. That's Diesel, baby. Oh!
That's kind of hot. That is awesome. That's kind of
hot.
That is legit diesel, man.
That was sexy on there.
Even backs down like a diesel.
That's awesome. You could feel it.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Most of the heavy rain wrapping up today. We'll just be left with some shower chances through the evening hours. We'll hit a high near 80 degrees. It'll have a chance of showers consistently throughout the night hours as well. We'll wake up with another chance of showers till about 9 a.m., a temperature in the low 70s, and cloudy skies remaining for the rest of the day. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Savit for Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. You know what it's like in the summer, right? It's hot. We know that. What's better way to cool off than ice cream, and especially ice cream from Ted and Wally's? More than 3,000 flavors. For 35 years, they've made sure that when they make ice cream, they make it the right way. That's why they have 20% butterfat. That's why they do it the old-fashioned way. Check out both locations. Go over to Benson or go over to the Old Market and get some Ted and Wally's today. 35 years of tradition, and tell them Severe sent you.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers and that our region has some of the highest levels in the country? Radon Defense Midwest can test and fix your home. Visit radonradio.com for an exclusive offer for 1620 The Zone listeners. That's radonradio.com.
It's easy to see the common signs of transmission trouble.
If your engine revs before it falls into gear. If it seems to switch gears for no reason. So watch for the signs. Certified transmission. The job done right at the right price.
Do you have big plans for your business? Get access and get growing. If you need a commercial loan or line of credit, the experts at Access Bank can help you get financing that fits your dreams. We're dedicated to supporting owners and entrepreneurs like you on a timeline that fits your schedule, because we're here for a reason, to help Omaha grow. Get started today at accessbank.com. That's accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
So, Isabella, you're in high school earning college credits?
Tuition-free college credits.
Tuition-free? Your mom's got a...
Love that.
Hey, Maya, hold up. You'll graduate from high school.
But my college gen ed's knocked out. Tuition-free.
That's got to save you and your parents
thousands in college tuition.
How about you, Ian?
I'll be debt-free thanks to MCC.
Earn college credits while still in high school. Tuition-free. Get started at mccneb.edu/tuition-free. Classes start September 5th.
This is me at MCC.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Make the right call, fans. The Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Rooferees.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman. The Athletic.
He can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royals. Let me live that fantasy.
Mitch Sherman. The Athletic. On the Connor Happer Show. On 1620, The Zone.
He can play.
Watch out. Don't let those Royals get hot. 4 wins in a row. Feeling good. 33 wins on the season. Still only 42 games under 500.
It could happen.
It's Mitch Sherman joins us on the 42 Degrees, the Source hotline right now. Hi, Mitch.
What do you mean, what could happen?
Oh,
like they could get to 50 wins?
It could happen. Something could happen. Well,
all bets are off.
We've talked about this before, Mitch. This is a normal Royal season. They stinky poo-poo at the first half of the season, and then in August and September, they're like, "Oh, I think we'll be a competent baseball team," and then it's a cycle never ending.
Yeah, more often just September, but August is a new treat. It's just I'm not going to be upset about the winning, but where's it at the rest of the year?
It's a good question. It's a good question. I was wondering the same. But we don't have to talk about the Royals. Let's talk about some football as fall camp has begun.
Let's do it.
I like how you're on roommate watch. Any further roommate updates to give us?
Oh, I heard one yesterday. No, it's a typical question that's getting asked to the players during their post-practice interviews, and I heard one. Jake Applegate is rooming with one of the defensive linemen. Might have been Buckley, Ruquan Buckley.
Oh,
don't go to the bank on that one, but yeah, that's a good day one topic. Who's your roommate in camp? And we won't get to the bottom of the whole thing. The entire puzzle will not be pieced together before the roommate situations are over and the 2 weeks in the dorms have been put in the past. So they're working through this. Like day 4 out of about 12, and then they get to go back to their apartments and their normal places of residence. But I think it's probably going to serve its purpose for Matt Rule to make them comfortable being uncomfortable, because you notice some of these pairings, these are not the players that would pick each other. And you have seniors with freshmen and offensive players with defensive players. So this is it's like Junction Boys, or Remember the Titans. This is like football camp of old.
In fact, it's so uncomfortable. I liked how Tony White talked about it yesterday when he was like, "No, I don't have a roommate right now, but I'm just waiting. I mean, I'm waiting for somebody to be sacked up in there by the time I get back from practice one day."
Yeah, he didn't want to talk about it. Then
No.
He got asked, and he was just like, "I'm not even going there." And it was like, I think he's just hoping that he gets to keep his room to himself. But there have been no assurances given.
What is the significance of Miles? I mean, the Miles Farmer suspension was Matt Rule told us about it on Monday. Didn't seem like he was much in the plan for this year, and now he's officially in the transfer portal. How would you characterize the loss for Nebraska?
Well, it's a key loss. He's one of their better returning defensive players, second on the team in tackles last year, and he had a knack for making plays. He had some key interceptions in his time at Nebraska. They're loaded with numbers, at least in the secondary. So it's the position group where Nebraska could probably most afford to have a player leave. But Marquise Buford is not on the 120. Somebody who's a candidate to start at safety. And if you put the lineup together at the end of last season, you might have thought, all right, Farmer and Buford are going to be the top guys. They were the top guys coming back at safety. And now neither of them are with the team. And I don't know that Buford is necessarily expected to be ready for Minnesota. He's coming off a really bad knee injury that he suffered in the Wisconsin game last year. So, yeah, they're going to be piecing it together a bit, I would say, at safety. You may see Omar Brown, who has been somebody that stepped up, I think, early in the offseason. Corey Collier, one of the transfers from Florida, is a guy for sure who could start at safety. They have used in the spring. They used Malcolm Hartzog some at the safety spot. Although I think he's more of a natural at corner. He's such an instinctive player back there than we saw it as a true freshman last year. That I think he could go anywhere you need him in the defensive backfield. But Nebraska's probably best as a secondary when he's at one corner and Quentin Newsome is at the other, with Tommy Hill as maybe that third guy. So you start to get down into some freshmen and some newcomers when you look at where they might be at. I think Isaac Gifford is going to be the rover, but Farmer was probably in competition to play at that spot too. So Evan Cooper, the secondary coach, has got a lot of options, but you don't want to. They could get thin pretty quick if a couple injuries happen.
Maybe this is a bad read, but and I think we've talked about this idea before, but I don't know that they mind having a little bit of flexibility to play some different guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I think this first year and especially the first fall camp is about learning everything and learning what's expected of you in the defense. Like I don't think they mind the idea of being able to get some other guys in at spots where there were some people who had taken up a lot of playing time and produced for the last couple of years. Like, does that sound right to you? Just the way that Tony White talks about it, it seems like they're throwing a lot at him right away, and they want to sort of see who sinks and who swims.
Yeah, they're very serious, I would say, about giving opportunities to young players and players who are new to the program. So the transfers, and there's quite a few key transfers on the defensive side. You start to look at MJ Sherman, Chief Borders, and Elijah Judy. I mentioned Corey Collier. All of those guys could be in the rotation with the top two. And then there's freshmen too. Prince Will, you have Cam Lenhart, you've got Maverick Noonan. All of those guys were there in the spring, and we'll see. It's too early after now 3 practices to know if there are other freshmen on the defensive side. Eric Fields got mentioned yesterday, the guy who's playing rover, which is interesting to me because he really brings a linebacker mentality. And, part of the reason that he picked Nebraska, was because he didn't have a lot of other options, at least at the Power 5 level. But, he rebuffed recruiting opportunities from even like a home state school like Oklahoma, because they were interested in him more as a safety, and Fields saw himself as a linebacker, and he comes with a linebacker mentality. So they're using him all over. Tony White said yesterday, but rover was the spot I think where he's getting the most reps, and that's interesting. It's a hybrid position. Like the jack linebacker spot up front, the rover position is a hybrid in the back, and I think if Fields is playing that spot, then it tells you the aggressiveness that they want at that position, and he's an interesting piece too.
We sort of track these things during camp by like mentions or offhand mentions by coaches, like who's getting named, whether that's an exact example of how things are working over there or not. It's it hasn't. I don't know. It's usually worked out where the guys who are getting mentioned, unprompted by coaches are guys that are going to end up playing and making differences. Through 2 days, who are some guys that have been mentioned by coaches that you've been like, oh, okay, that's sort of interesting that name came up there? I know Fields was certainly one of them from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I would hesitate to read too much into that. He was talking about the rover spot, and they're without Farmer, and he mentioned Gifford, and then there's other guys that could work in there like Gage Stinger, Javen Wright, but the fact that Tony White did mention Fields, it was at least interesting. Mostly, Matt Rule talked a lot about Billy Kemp the other day, and it immediately made me think, okay, this is going to be a guy who gets a single-digit jersey when they vote on that when the players vote on that at some point this month. And he's wide receiver one, probably the most reliable target that Jeff Sims is going to have. I mean, if it's 3rd and 7, I think he's looking for Billy Kemp, which is going to be a little different from the last couple of years when Nebraska had Samari Toure in 21 and Trey Palmer last year. Those guys, as the top receiver on the team, put up huge numbers because they had a ton of big plays. You had the 80-yard plays often coming from those two, and I don't think Kemp is necessarily that guy, but he is a wide receiver one in a different kind of way. Now, Xavier Betts may be that guy who can take the top. He is that guy who can take the top off of the defense, and if he's continuing to progress, there have been times earlier in Xavier's career where you've heard good things. He's progressing, and then he took a step back, and so he wasn't, in the mix for a period of time. I don't think that's going to happen now. I think he's in a better place, and he proved it on the academic side in the spring. But until he gets out there and is a consistent contributor for this offense, we're going to wonder, is he all in? Is he all here? Is this continuing on a consistent level to be what Nebraska wants from him? So that's still to be determined. But I think if it works out the way it looks like it can, then he's right there with Kemp as kind of a 1-2 combo, and Marcus Washington too. When he gets back to good health. So those guys have all gotten mentioned. I heard part of it has to do with who we've heard from. And we talked to Terrence Knighton, the D-line coach, yesterday, and heard a little bit about Nash Hutmaker, about Blaze Gunnerson. Not as much talk yet. And it's 3 days about the true freshmen on the defensive line, who were really a big story coming out of the spring because of the performances that they had in the red-white game.
All right, Mitch, 4 weeks from tomorrow is the first game. We unfortunately, I think we still have probably a couple more days of like roommate talk and all that stuff, but it'll eventually turn over to Minnesota and in the next couple of weeks. We appreciate the time, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, Connor.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Roommate talk. He had a roommate tweet. You heard another roommate thing yesterday. Billy Kemp and Mason Jones. Ty Robinson and Eric Fields. Turner Corcoran and Tommy Hill. Dorm mate talk.
Got to let the broadcasters know who's living with who.
You sure do. Oh, it'll come up on definitely those first couple of games. They went to the dorms for 2 weeks. And then the former players in the broadcast booth will say, oh, I remember we did that too. You just don't see it very much anymore. I love Matt Rule.
Matt Rule with a bit of an unorthodox camp this fall.
Yep. Can't wait. Cannot wait. Coming up next, Josh has the odd news when we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
The cigar enthusiasts at Hearth Cigars and Pipes are a pretty diverse bunch of humans. Some enjoy an adult beverage or two, others pass the time with a competitive yet friendly game of dominoes. Still others enjoy shooting some pool downstairs, while more than a few are just satisfied with each other's company. The common thread with all of them is the awesomeness that is their favorite cigar from the humidor. Hearth Cigars and Pipes, just off the 48th Street exit from I-680 at the corner of Mormon Bridge Road and McKinley, and at hearthcigars.com.
Do you have big plans for your business? Get access and get growing. If you need a commercial loan or line of credit, the experts at Access Bank can help you get financing that fits your dreams. We're dedicated to supporting owners and entrepreneurs like you on a timeline that fits your schedule, because we're here for a reason, to help Omaha grow. Get started today at accessbank.com. That's accessbank.com. Member FDIC.
The brand new Dollar General Distribution Center in Blair is now hiring. Starting wage is up to $22 per hour with benefits including medical, dental, vision, 401k, and a $2,000 sign-on bonus. Apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Again, apply today by texting DG Warehouse to 25000 or online at dollargeneral.com/careers. Dollar General can't wait to have you become a team member at their brand new distribution center.
Hey folks, is your concrete in need of repair? Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts and a Best of Omaha winner, Everlevel Concrete Repair. They can completely restore and repair your concrete at a fraction of the price compared to replacement and offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. There's a reason they're a Best of Omaha winner. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Meet Joe A,
Hi.
Joe B,
Hello.
and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here for my friends at Kugler Vision. Let us talk about the 3 most surprising things about modern LASIK at Kugler Vision. The first, how fast that LASIK procedure is. With Kugler Vision's leading-edge technology, we're talking just a few minutes per eye. Incredibly speedy. And how about this for number 2? How comfortable the procedure is. So often from their patients, they hear, wait, that's it? It's over? They make sure that you're relaxed and comfortable, as well as knowing exactly what is happening. And this for number 3, how quickly you can get back to normal life. Patients typically drive themselves to Kugler Vision the very next day for their follow-up visit. So you're back in action less than 24 hours later. Kugler Vision right now, they have special pre-summer savings on modern LASIK or any of their other advanced vision correction procedures. If you've ever thought about fixing your bad vision, the Kugler Vision Eye Analysis is your first step. Do so today. Schedule one online at KuglerVision.com.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
And coming up in just a minute, it will be the tweet bag. final call to get in your tweets at Happer Show, your Zeets on the JTech Construction Zone X feed, or
X
any other,
give it to you.
Any other way you'd like to get in touch with the show, we'll open that up. And $50 on the line to Timber Creek, to the selected winners. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill, that is. But first, Josh has the odd news. Josh.
I sure do. Yesterday was the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Dude.
Yes.
Justin Verlander got dealt to the Astros.
Ryan Yarborough.
Jack Flaherty. These are the
Scott
names
Barlow
that were on the move yesterday. And many are calling it. I would not dance on the grave of the New York Mets. Far be it from me. I'm a classy winner. But many are saying that what happened yesterday was a fire sale for the New York Mets as they traded Verlander back to the Astros. While it wasn't shocking, many were still excited and caught off guard by the news yesterday, especially Ben Verlander, brother of Justin Verlander, who was recording a live podcast when the news broke.
He does that. He records podcasts.
Yes, that's all he does. He got the news about the trade during an interview with Cincinnati Reds shortstop Matt McClain for the Flippin' Bats podcast. I think my wife sends me a lot of Instagram reels from them, so they must be doing good things over there at Flippin' Bats.
Yeah.
Wait, they just told me Justin got traded to the Astros. Wow. Yeah, there it is. He's going back. Wow, Ben said.
Wow, great take. Well, I mean, that would be kind of. They were talking about this on the Royals broadcast last night, and it's pretty good perspective. Like, you're sitting there as and Ben's not a major leaguer. He was at one point, I think, right? Or played professionally.
At least likes baseball.
I think he played professionally. I don't know if he made the major leagues. But you're thinking about it. You're sitting there as the trade deadline, because the trade deadline's at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. The games haven't started yet, but you're there. You're at the ballpark. MLB Network's on in the clubhouse, and you're just watching your life play out in front of your eyes. You know, like you're Salvador Perez yesterday.
Oh, yeah, a lot of rumors yesterday.
And you are aware, because you have no trade rights, same thing with Zach Greinke, you're aware that your name is being thrown into these conversations, but you really don't know. And it's the team is going to tell you at the most minutes before it is announced on television, before it is said on television.
And then 2 minutes after that, writers will shove a microphone in your face, as is their job.
What's it feel like to be traded? I don't know. I'm still here.
I just
I'm still
found
a
out.
person.
You're the one who told me.
Super weird day. We've had a lot
That's
of
really funny. That's a good story.
Wait, they just told me Justin just got traded to the Astros.
No way.
Wow. Yeah, there it is.
Damn, that's crazy.
He's going back.
What a take.
So, wow.
That's it. They just changed subjects.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff there. Definitely need to listen to the Flippin' Bats.
You don't want to be like, yeah, we had family dinner with Justin and Kate, and he said nothing about this
because he doesn't know.
No insight.
He didn't know.
No text conversations. No texts between Ben and Justin.
Hey man, maybe he didn't want to air any laundry with the family. Maybe he's not like Aaron Rodgers.
I love the shot at Aaron Rodgers.
He didn't want that smoke. He didn't want to talk about his family. Maybe he's like Scott Frost. Don't ask about my family.
Someone has those DMs, by the way. We go to Vermont for story number 2.
Can I interest you in an iPad or MacBook Pro? Those DMs? Oh, different ones.
That was one of my favorite moments in the history of this show.
Scott Frost is selling MacBooks.
Middlebury College.
I'm not kidding. This is real. How dare you reach out to me and proclaim that this is not real? I am Scott Frost.
You need me to prove it. Middlebury College has about 400 more students this fall than they expected. And they're looking for ways around the crowded hallways and lecture halls there in Vermont.
What are they going to do?
They're struggling with an enrollment boom because college is so affordable and necessary nowadays.
Wow, Josh out on college.
Just saying, there's ways around it. They're offering $10,000 to upperclassmen to delay their education to ease overcrowding.
Huh.
The unusual play to delay offer comes as the small liberal arts school is about to burst at the seams. The college typically has 2,500 to 2,600 students, but this fall is approaching 2,900 to 3,000 students.
Oh boy, what will they do?
The surge is caused by the return of students who took time off during the pandemic. You see, COVID's over.
Now, I'll say this, a small liberal arts college probably going to be significantly more than $10,000 a year.
Sure.
Okay. Just wanted to get that out there.
Officials are making the pay to delay offer to the first 30 juniors and seniors who opt to take a leave of absence for the fall semester.
Is it contingent on if you come back? Because you could just leave and just take the 10 grand and just leave forever. That'd be kind of
That's interesting. College officials declined to update the story Tuesday. The deadline for applying is today if you're listening from Middlebury College.
Paying people to leave your school. Man, the education business is booming.
College officials previously dealt with surges by offering study abroad opportunities, including offering a $2,000 travel stipend and converting other nearby properties like the Inn on the Green into student housing. The college broke ground last month on a new freshman dorm, but it won't be ready until 2025. That feels like a long time to build a dorm.
It's got to be nice.
Yeah. Interesting.
I definitely could very easily get paid to leave college.
I'd take the 10 Gs.
Yeah. See ya.
Yeah,
I'm out. No more college for me.
Take a gap semester.
Yeah, or just leave.
Really work on me.
Never return. Josh would just go to the movies every day.
I would. $10,000 to go to the movies? Oh, man.
That's the dream.
Who's in on the Meg 2 this week with me? Come on.
Nobody.
Oh, there's a dinosaur in it, though.
People are still catching up on Oppenheimer and Barbenheimer.
Yeah, AMC had their best week ever, which I'm not calling them liars, but I'm just questioning the second week of a movie's release.
People were busy the last weekend.
Did people not go see Avengers Endgame at AMC theaters?
Movies aren't events anymore, man. This is not it's there's not anything like that anymore.
No, it's a phenomenon. They talked about it on GMA this morning.
Movies died with COVID. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, remember when Top Gun Maverick brought the post-COVID box office back?
Yeah.
We need to pick a movie that saved movies.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's true.
Pick one movie.
We make that proclamation a lot.
Yes. Every 6 months, a movie saves movies. We move to Maine for our final story. This one
up the coast.
Sent to me on X from Kyle. I don't think he was on X. I want to be very clear about that. Marjorie Perkins of Maine realized a 17-year-old was awfully hungry after defending herself. The household matriarch, who insists on feeding visitors, especially young ones, stands among the most enduring American stereotypes. But an 87-year-old woman from Brunswick, Maine, recently took that stereotype to an extreme by fighting off a teenager who broke into her home, then giving him snacks when he said he was hungry.
Man, I love grandmas.
Marjorie Perkins, at the center of this tale, she was sleeping in her home at about 2 a.m. on July 26 when she woke up, saw a 17-year-old boy who used to mow her grass standing over her, and heard him say, quote, "I'm going to cut you." According to the local newspaper.
She's not threatened by this.
She said, "I thought to myself, if he's going to cut, I'm going to kick," she said. So the former elementary school teacher stood up and began putting on her shoes, but then started being hit by the teen intruder. Perkins somewhat slowed the attack by grabbing a chair and using it as a shield, almost like a lion tamer, and she began screaming for help. No one was in or around the home to hear her. The teen pushed her and beat her up. Perkins kicked him with the chair. The boy eventually grew tired, leaving her alone, where he entered the kitchen and said he was hungry. You need to get out, she said. You need help. She then heard his comment that he was hungry, asked when the last time he had eaten was. It had been a while. So she got him a box of peanut butter and honey crackers.
Oh, I thought it would be more grandma than that.
2 tangerines.
I thought it'd be
and here's the old lady part of it, an Ensure protein shake.
But usually it's like, hey, why don't you just go ahead and sit down, read the paper. I'm going to make you a meal that takes me 2 hours to make. I'll make you some muffins, homemade.
I've got a dish of hard candies in the foyer for you.
It's quick. Mm-hmm. I love an old lady with a good heart.
That's a pretty good heart. If that guy said he was going to cut you, beat you up, and then you got him some crackers and some cuties.
She didn't deserve what happened to her, but she's quick to forget. Just good.
Absolutely.
What a nice lady. Marjorie, what a great old lady name too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Very good. You could expect if you go to Marjorie's house, Marjorie's going to whip you up something.
Like, fix you a plate, honey.
Yep, fix you a plate.
How's your mom?
Great stuff going on in Maine. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. We will return. It's time for the tweet bag. Last call. Get your tweets, your zeets in at Happer Show, the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, or any other way you'd like to get in touch with the show. We have some options. Why not add a couple more? And remember, there's $50 to Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill on the line to a user that Josh selects, or maybe a couple.
I think we can rummage up a couple for sure.
Coming up next on 1620 The Zone.
Duck Defense Midwest makes your home healthier and improves the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com for a special duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. That's cleanairradio.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Savit for Ted and Wally's. 2 locations, of course, in Benson and the Old Market. It is the best destination in town for ice cream. It's fun for the whole family. You having a birthday? You having some special event? You want to bring ice cream, especially during the summer, because you know what? It's hot and ice cream cools you off. If you're thinking nostalgia, remembering back to those good old summers when you were growing up, you remember ice cream in your life, and you probably remember going to Ted and Wally's. 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. Check them out today and tell them Severe sent you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Your Omaha Mavericks are coming off an historic year with conference championships, NCAA appearances, and record attendance. 2023-24 season tickets are on sale now. Be a part of the action and get your tickets today by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tigs. The seat you purchase today will be better than the seat you can buy tomorrow. Get your tickets now and go Mavs.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
This is the Tweet Bag. You send your questions in and we answer them. Like no other radio segment ever. It's the Tweet Bag on the Connor Happer Show.
All right, welcome back. It's time for the tweet bag. Send in your Zeets at Happer Show on the J-Tech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We have a few of them lined up. And remember, what's on the line today? $50 to Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill. Just ask a good question. You are entered into the drawing. Keep in mind, that's also our zone deal this week. And I know no better way to guarantee yourself a free zone deal than this. I guess it's no guarantee, but it's you put yourself in the running. Josh,
Connor,
let's tweet.
All right, we begin. I'm going to start with Simba.
All right, Simba, hi.
It's college football Kool-Aid season.
Simba Sims.
What is the biggest Kool-Aid shot you're taking this year?
Whoa. Like, so this has to be Nebraska related?
I don't think so. I think it's all throughout the sport.
The biggest Kool-Aid shot. I guess. So I could just go anywhere. Is this like a hot take? Does this have to be a hot take?
Just whatever Kool-Aid you're drinking. What flavor do you like? I'll start.
Okay.
Just to give you an idea. Pac-12, good conference.
Yeah, the Pac-12 should be pretty good this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's
not just USC.
Yeah, that's good. I think mine would have to be Nebraska related. I'm on the train of this is going to be a competent football team. I've said it over and over again.
Define competence.
I think you will notice that, very, very quickly that this team is much better coached than it has been in the past. I think you should notice that pretty much right away. What does that mean in terms of wins and losses? I will repeat. I do not know. They will still lose some close games as well. But there will be no inexplicable losses. There it is. How do you categorize an inexplicable loss? I don't know. Just look at all of them during the Scott Frost era. There won't be any of those.
No Minnesota COVID losses.
No, none of that. None of that. I hope they don't, blow any 14 or 17 point leads or anything like that. And I don't think they will. There you go. There's my
maybe
Kool-Aid.
A sound kicking game.
I got one for you too. Here's another one.
Okay.
I am buying lots of stock in Nebraska's quarterback.
Oh,
Jeff Sims. I think if he has a good year this year, statistically, he's going to get some buzz, some draft buzz at the end of the year. I would like Jeff Sims to stick around for one more year, but I do think it's possible that, in this offense, he could make a pretty sizable jump. I think physically, he looks a lot like a guy that was taken in the top 10 of this year's draft. Doesn't have the production to back it up, but neither did Anthony Richardson. I think he's got that kind of arm. I think he's got that kind of athleticism. If he could show something there, it's going to be interesting for him.
Can I ask you a question about Big Ten Media Days?
Otani just struck out, by the way.
Again, when you talk to Jeff Sims at Media Days.
Yeah, Jeff Sims.
Did it seem like when everyone asked him what the offense was, he seemed to chuckle as if to say, I would really like to run the football, but they do not want me to run the football, so I will be throwing the football.
No, actually,
okay.
kind of the opposite.
Okay.
I would say that he is really looking forward to throwing the football because of the offense
agree
he's
with
been
that.
in the last couple of years.
Okay.
Yes. But I do think he knows that they're going to lean on him a little bit
Okay.
to make some plays with his legs. I'm drinking the Jeff Sims Kool-Aid.
Okay.
I like a guy who can, I said this with Tanner Lee too, but I like a guy who can spin it. It looks really good coming out of his hand. Nebraska's had a lot of quarterbacks where you just watch them warming up and you're like, that's our guy?
How's that get there?
Like, that's supposed to be the guy? I don't care if he's a 4-star. Like Patrick O'Brien. I looked at that guy and I'm like, oh, that's the guy? That's gonna be the guy one day? I don't know. Taylor Martinez.
Stinky.
I like it to look aesthetically pleasing. Jeff Sims is a aesthetically pleasing quarterback.
Brian with an I tweets in.
Hello, Brian with an I.
With all the buzz around the coaching staff, what will be the biggest disappointment that we'll see from this team, and what side of the ball will be the most exciting to watch this season?
Interesting. So I think the most disappointing piece will be defense. I mean, defense as a whole. I mean, probably defensive line. It's going to take them a minute to do what they want to do. And I think they're going to be playing some younger guys. And I think you're going to be surprised at some of the personnel groupings that they use on the defensive side of the ball. I think, to answer the second question, offensively, there's some sneaky playmakers there that you've heard good things about. Like, we asked Rule at Media Days, is there a guy or two? And he immediately went to Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. We already know he loves Billy Kemp.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard good things about Betts. All of a sudden, that's a good group. Marcus Washington is still there. You get some younger guys to start producing at that position. Like, it could be, if things go right, as explosive as it gets for an offense that's trying to do what it's trying to do, which is slow, not so much tempo, run the football, be stubborn about running the football. But if you add that with a little bit of explosiveness, that is by definition exciting.
All right.
That's it. That answers the question.
Brian with a Y tweets in.
Oh, Brian with Y.
Having purchased some shares of Braves stock, which technically makes me a part owner, am I officially allowed to say we when referring to the team?
My stance on that has always been you do you.
Okay.
You go ahead.
Yeah, I like that.
You go ahead. If you feel that way about your team, you go ahead. I don't, because most of the time when I'm talking about my team, I'm referring to them in a derogatory way. So I say they,
Those idiots, those bums.
They can't do anything right.
Mm-hmm.
Not we can't do anything right. I have nothing to do with the bad parts. I only have things to do with the good parts.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I'm a fan. I support.
I like that. Matt tweets in.
Hello, Matt.
What would be considered rock bottom as a Royals fan that would get Connor Happer to join the Braves bandwagon?
Well,
#tweetbag, #xbag.
Matt, it's too late.
Feels like it.
It's too late. I'm sorry. I mean,
it would have to be like a monumental scandal that you're like, whoa, I can no longer.
I don't even know that would do it.
Wow.
It just
Connor here for scandal.
I'm always amazed by those people. It's like, I can't support my team anymore. Like, you could be incredibly angry at them,
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I'm stuck, Now,
this is me.
There is, if they leave,
that is a window. Yes.
If they leave, that would be it.
Okay.
I would not become a Braves fan, I don't think, though. Although it seems fun.
Do you like winning?
Congratulations.
It's fun.
I don't know what I would do, though. I'd be extremely sad. I'd be like Michael Bruntz right now.
You'd be like your NFL allegiance in that you have none.
I don't know what I would do.
You would just like the sport of baseball.
Because I don't think that I would follow them. Because I don't really care about I don't care about the front office. I don't care about the team operation. I don't care about the owner.
Mm-hmm.
I care about the jerseys, the royal blue, the boys in blue.
Oh,
Kansas City, the Beatles. That's what I care about. It doesn't exist anymore if they leave.
True.
So that would be the window.
You said you had some texts.
Oh, yeah,
as
plenty.
well, okay.
Here's from Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Question for the fellas.
Question for you.
Thank you, Craig Wagner. When you ain't seen your boy in a while, do you A, go straight for the hug, B, slap hands into the hug, C, strictly go to the handshake or secret handshake, or D, acknowledge that you haven't seen each other in forever and do not perform any gesture? I like the multiple choice, Eric. Good stuff.
I do. It's generally a, hey, haven't seen you in a while, and then a hug. So like the first part of D, and then what was it, A or B? I can't remember which.
So I'm B. Slap hands into the hug.
Okay.
You go with the big handshake, and then you go straight into the hug after that. I think that's a natural move. Maybe if something is happened in their life recently, it could go for a softer straight into the hug. The B, slap hands into the hug is a happy situation. A hug could be a sad hug.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I see the difference.
But yeah, it's B for me.
Great question.
Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. What electronic device or appliance did you buy with your own money that you could not live without? This is as an adult. Thanks, Pedro.
Run it back one more time.
Which electronic device or appliance did you buy with your own money that you thought you could not live without as an adult? Thanks, Pedro. I'm going to take the easy road here. I would say television. I could not live without television. Or laptop. That laptop would be a big one for me.
You read the question, and I immediately went to video game console.
Well, that's weird. You could live without that, Josh.
I know, but the question was, you thought you could not live without.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I see where you're going with that. I've definitely had some poor purchases before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I understand the question correctly, it's television. That's my answer. Lawnmower.
Oh,
couldn't live without that.
Get a good gas mowing.
We need a lot of things to survive.
I bought the lid machine, and I was pretty proud. I had an old hand-me-down mower, and I said, you know what? No, I'm an adult. I need to have a nice mower because I'm going to use this.
Chris in Montana.
Hi, Chris.
For the tweet bag, which is more likely this season? Billy Kemp setting the single game reception record or the Nebraska defense giving up a new single game reception record? Like amount of receptions or like yards? I assume we're doing yards. I wouldn't peg Billy Kemp as a 1,000-yard guy necessarily. Although it could happen. I mean, he's been awfully productive in his career. Could Billy Kemp? So what's more likely? Billy Kemp. So I think the record is what? 1,008 yards by Stanley Morgan still. Single season receiving yards record. So what's more likely? Billy Kemp is a 1,000-yard receiver or Nebraska gives up a new single game record, which would be like against them, like Troy Edwards. He had 405 yards that day. I'd say it's Billy Kemp.
Both seem unlikely.
Oh, okay. Chris in Montana follows up. He says, no, I meant receptions. Like he might get 100 receptions for 600 yards. That's true. God, I don't pay attention to stats that way. Receptions. Yeah, I think that's more likely that he would get a heavy amount of receptions and a smaller amount of yards. Okay, that's still the answer. Happer's meme guy writes in, would you rather your starting point guard would you rather your starting point guard from an Elite 8 run transfer because of NIL hubbub or be so in desperate need of a point guard that you take a transfer point guard who's been flagged in an investigation for betting on sports?
Yeah, there's some questions that I'd like answered.
Okay, so on that, we'll talk to Robin about it a little bit more next. I already didn't like the pickup. Nebraska basketball was, I guess, decided that it was in such desperate need for point guard minutes that
got to do something.
They took the guy that nobody else wanted. And then it turns out that he's caught up in the gambling thing.
That's why no one else wanted him. Huh.
I don't know if that's why, Josh. I don't know if that's why.
Okay.
I mean, we didn't know that.
I mean,
maybe could have guessed.
Yeah, these things are generally known in circles. Remember how mad everyone was when we didn't tell them everything we knew about Scott Frost?
Have you seen Michael's video? Give me Ryan Nembhard, I guess, if that's what you're asking.
Okay.
Interesting take, I know. Jay Scurtad.
Hi, Jay Scurtad.
Going for brownie points here. For Connor, what is the hardest meat to slice?
Excellent question.
So I haven't got out the meat slicer in a while.
Sad.
And I'll be honest with you that I haven't, like, when I buy the chunks of meat from the store to put in my slicer, I usually have just done turkey. I haven't tried to slice up really much else at this point.
Not going like salami or anything.
But I will say that I buy the rotisserie chickens from Costco, and I don't put them in the slicer. But it's like you just sort of pick at it as you go, and you have to kind of, it's not straight. It's not just the chunk. Like you have to work around the bones and everything like that as well. That's tough. I'm working on a rotisserie right now. But I don't know that I could accurately answer that question. I'm not trying to say that I oversold my meat slicer or the meat slicing ability, but I just haven't dove into it that much. Also, I'll say this, no offense to the person who got me a meat slicer. It is not the highest quality of meat slicer.
Oh, wow.
I apologize.
Whoa.
It's just not.
I scrimped and I saved for that meat slicer for you.
So I haven't got it out very much. Matt, you need to sign up for an activity in the Cornhusker State Games. Which one will it be? I really like the idea of the mall walking, actually.
Foot golf sounded interesting. It's just golf with like a soccer ball and really big holes.
Yeah, it does sound cool, actually.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to this one from Sicilian Stiletto?
Oh.
Have you seen it?
Maybe not.
It says this. Late 90s, when I was a Douglas County prosecutor, I handled the arraignment of a man who tried to steal a woman's purse at an annual summer arts festival. He didn't get far. On a late June 90-degree day in Omaha, our not-so-bright thief wore the following: a camel leather fringe jacket and electric blue leather chaps with nothing on underneath.
Oh, my.
Made it easy for cops patrolling to spot him. Hashtag speaking of chaps. Can I get Josh to give the description of the man over police radio in his 1940s guy voice, please? Hashtag tweet bag, hashtag X bag.
Oh, wow. I missed this. Okay.
Do you see it now?
I do see it now. I have the script in front of me.
I like when people put Josh on the spot on this because it's hard. It's
yeah. You want to deliver. You want to give it that flourish, because the person who's asking me to do this wants it to be good too.
Yes.
You
could decline and just bust it out at some other random point.
No. The ears have perked up for Sicilian Stiletto, and it's expected.
Right, this will be the last thing we do on the tweet bag.
Yeah. Okay. APB. Summer Arts Festival. Suspect getting away. Suspect's last seen wearing a camel leather fringe jacket. Electric blue chaps. Repeat, electric blue chaps. Nothing else, and all that implies. Stole a purse.
Or maybe you do the news flash of when it comes over the radio afterwards, like when they're doing news radio. A man in blue leather chaps has been caught at the Summer Arts Festival, mostly because of his blue leather chaps. And he stole a purse.
Drama this afternoon at the Summer Arts Festival. Suspect apprehended after a quick chase, stealing a woman's handbag. What made this all the more interesting was the camel fringe jacket and blue chaps. Nothing on underneath, despite the sweltering temperatures.
He was naked, man. He was naked. Thank you, Josh.
What's this world coming to? We're trying to win a war here.
Thank you, 1940s, man. I appreciate that. And that is the tweet bag. Thank you to you all. Watch your DMs, watch your texts. Josh might have something for you coming up in just a little bit. Robin Washut will join next. There is some things to talk about with Nebraska ball. We'll do it next on 1620 The Zone.
They're trying to get it into the peach basket.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
The best programs that have the best bond between players, the way you recruited that kid when he was a junior or senior in high school, and the way you treated him and got to know him is the same when he gets on campus, and he's not just a number. Exactly. He's still that same person that you were in mama's front room eating dinner and trying to woo mom and dad or whoever that they could trust you with their son. You develop about a 6-year relationship and then hopefully a relationship for life as a coach.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10. On 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from a Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Most of the heavy rain wrapping up today. We'll just be left with some shower chances through the evening hours. We'll hit a high near 80 degrees. We'll have a chance of showers consistently throughout the night hours as well. We'll wake up with another chance of showers till about 9 a.m., a temperature in the low 70s, and cloudy skies remaining for the rest of the day. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
Same location, new name, First Class Woodhouse Service. That's the new Woodhouse Chevy Omaha, 112th and Dodge. For 50 years, it's been where Omaha goes to find new roads to their next new Chevy. Come see Woodhouse Chevy's full selection and experience the Woodhouse difference with their knowledgeable, friendly staff. Plus, there's Woodhouse.com, a place where you can do much of the car buying experience online. Summertime is the right time for your new Chevy from Woodhouse Chevy, 112th and Dodge in Omaha, and I-29 exit 75 Missouri Valley. Woodhouse.com.
No matter how dark it gets, there's always a sunrise, a warm bed, a warm meal, and hope. Sienna Francis House serves hope to those experiencing homelessness and addiction. Every day, we provide more than 1,000 meals and serve nearly 500 guests in our emergency shelter, Miracles Recovery Program, and supportive housing apartments, and help our guests navigate a path to permanent housing. Learn more at siennafrancis.org.
Dust. It's in the living room, the bedroom, and the bathroom. It's also in your lungs. Let's fix that, shall we? Duct Defense Midwest offers a comprehensive system that cleans, disinfects, filters, and purifies the air. They'll make your home healthier and improve the life of your HVAC system. So improve the health of your home and everyone in it. Go to cleanairradio.com right now for a special air duct cleaning offer for Zone listeners. cleanairradio.com.
Your Omaha Mavericks are coming off an historic year with conference championships, NCAA appearances, and record attendance. 2023-24 season tickets are on sale now. Be a part of the action and get your tickets today by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tickets. The seat you purchase today will be better than the seat you can buy tomorrow. Get your tickets now and go Mavs.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
0.05 seconds. That's how long it takes users to form an opinion about a website. If you're unsure that your website meets today's standards, go to jmonline.com and book a call with an expert today. At JM Online, we redesigned our own website last year, a project that has already delivered us a positive ROI. From advanced micro interactions to a beautiful mobile design, check out what we're capable of at jmonline.com.
Don't miss the Vallis 39-hour flash sale celebrating their 39-year anniversary. Thursday at 7 a.m. through Friday at 10 p.m. Friday through Sunday tickets are $32.99 and season passes are $69.99 per person. With more than 50 attractions included with admission, Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Visit VallisPumpkinPatch.com to cash in on the savings during their 39-hour anniversary flash sale.
The biggest basketball coaching convention of
work on your stroke while you listen.
What?
You don't want to embarrass. I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut.
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut, Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
All right. A phenomenon that we can't explain, like Nebraska basketball. Robin Washut of Husker Online joins us now on the 42 Degrees hotline. Hi, Robin.
What's up?
How are you?
Just living a daily dream that only gets more and more entertaining every single day.
Sure does. So as of this morning, started to get us, at least we got maybe a hint the other day when Fred Hoiberg really did not talk about why Aaron Eulis was not on Nebraska's, not available to play Nebraska's trip to Spain, which I believe they're going to play some basketball here in a few minutes. So it was found in some court documents via the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigations probe into sports gambling at Iowa and Iowa State that former Hawkeye guard, current Nebraska guard, Aaron Eulis, according to a criminal complaint filed by the Johnson County Attorney's Office, allegedly used his older brother's information to disguise approximately 1,850 sports wagers, over 740 of which were placed before he turned 21. And the wagers totaled almost $35,000. The complaint alleges that at least one wager was on an Iowa sporting event, and over 430 were on NCAA-sanctioned football and basketball games. So I think, Robin, that would explain his absence.
Yeah, pretty easy to connect the dots on that one. The fact that he made the trip, he was practicing in all the allotted practices. This kind of seems like a deal where there's nothing injury related and all that. So now the question is, what's next? And I don't know if we really have an answer for that. And a big part of that is because Nebraska is not going to do anything as far as any sort of discipline until this investigation at Iowa wraps up. And there's some conclusions made on that end, and just talking with other Iowa media and whatnot, it sounds like this thing could be a long, drawn-out process. So I'm very intrigued to see kind of how Nebraska handles this, where you have a player that did something at his previous school, but it's only been charges and allegations. Do they, try to be proactive and have him miss games if it does, in fact, bleed into the start of the season, or do they just play him and go business as usual until an actual ruling on this case is made? And there's, examples given of other athletes and what type of discipline they receive. So I think this thing is just in the infancy of its development. and we're probably not going to get any sort of final clarity probably for a while. But in the meantime, the big question is, what's Nebraska going to do with Ulis? My guess is he'll continue to practice. He won't play. They're playing right now in their second game in Spain. Obviously, he won't play in their third game either. But then when they get back, they're going to be off for a few weeks, and I think start up their official team practices in September. Are they just going to let him practice full go and prepare as if he's going to be playing in game one? Or are they going to try to find other avenues to get guys like Jamarcus Lawrence or whoever it may be, or Mel Lloyd, or even Cale Jacobson, some more reps at that point guard spot in preparation that Ulis won't be available. So it's a difficult path to navigate right now, just because of all of the unknowns regarding his station and what's ultimately going to come of this investigation over in Iowa.
Well, the one specifically about him betting it on Iowa basketball while he's at Iowa, if that comes to fruition.
Sports. They didn't say Iowa basketball.
Okay.
Iowa sports.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's a difference, maybe not in the NCAA's eyes, but I know that looking at the rules, betting on, I can't remember the term they use, but basically football or men's basketball, that can have a punishment of up to a half-season suspension. And then betting on your own school, and I believe that's regardless of sports.
Yeah, it says school. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So if that's confirmed and he did place a bet on an Iowa sporting event, I guess the max suspension on that could be an ultimate or permanent ban.
Correct. Yeah.
From NCAA competition. So that, I think, is the way far extreme end of this. The reality is, if it's one bet, I guess we'll see. If it's on his own team, then it's a different conversation. We don't know that. But with the 1,800 some bets and $35,000, that averages about $20 a bet. So it's not like he's over there dropping thousands of dollars,
sure,
and throwing games and whatnot, or at least on the surface. And that's just what we don't know right now. Is just the level of involvement. Was he just setting DraftKings lineups, or was he doing things and using information to, get a leg up on some insider betting trading?
Do you think this possibly explains why there wasn't much interest in him in the portal? Potentially, but I do know, from things that I've heard, that when he committed to Nebraska, this wasn't on their radar whatsoever. Okay. So, I think that when that was going on, this whole investigation into Iowa State was really just getting started. There's stuff with the baseball team first. I know one of their players got suspended. So it was really kind of at the very beginning stages of this situation. So I don't know how much that had to do with it. Maybe it did, where people, more dialed in, got word of this, and Nebraska didn't. I don't know. All I know is that when he committed, Nebraska, this wasn't on their radar whatsoever. But there had been rumors of this swirling for a while. I'd say at least the last couple of weeks. So Nebraska wasn't blindsided by this today, but they are in a very precarious situation now, not only with what they're going to do with Ulis, but if he is forced to miss any games this year or is banned from competition altogether, that leaves them with a significant void on their roster where they need a point guard, and they're up against the clock now. Now, there's still players that can hit the portal as grad transfers and be immediately eligible, but that's a less than ideal situation unless you get an absolute out of the blue steal through the portal. Okay, so a couple things from a basketball perspective then. Were you anticipating that Aaron Ulis was going to be their primary point guard this year?
Yeah, at least to start. That's why he was brought in, to give them that veteran just experience, and then his defensive presence to kind of complement the offense that a guy like Casey Tominaga would bring. They needed somebody that could be an all-ball defender, and that's what Aaron Ulis, maybe one of his biggest strengths was. So, starter or not, he's going to play significant minutes, and going into the year, I expected to be their number one point guard.
Okay, so then there's the question. You mentioned a couple guys already. There's a few other guys on the roster that you could sort of put in that spot. I mean, Nebraska's in a position right now when they're in Spain where they don't have a player who's taller than 6'7" who's available to play for them because where Rinkmast is, and a couple injuries like Blaise Keita's that are on the roster. So Cale Jacobson, I know, has been playing some 5, which is intriguing.
6'4" Cale Jacobson.
Correct. Interesting. He could potentially be in the mix among others, what they do at that point guard spot. But that sort of backcourt becomes at least a lot more in flux now. There's options, but I guess what are some of them that they could put forth as they head into the season, assuming that you're without Ulis?
Yeah, so in that scenario, Jamarcus Lawrence becomes your number 1 point guard, in my opinion. They could potentially go other directions, but I mean, he got to start a point guard on Monday, so that kind of shows you what their immediate reaction to that was. And so beyond that, yeah, I mean, Jacobson was already getting talked about potentially cracking the rotation. I think those chances increase significantly now if Ulis misses any time. You also have, I guess, the Sam Hoiberg in that discussion. I mean, Casey could play some points, but you'd rather have him off the ball. You'd probably see a lot more of the bigs getting involved and still taking the offense, where Rinkmast and Josiah Alec and those types of guys that are good passers out of those front court spots. Maybe you rely on that even more, kind of similar to what they did with Derek Walker a year ago. But the reality is that what none of those guys can replicate is those 27 starts that Aaron Ulis got under his belt last year, and just that Big Ten experience that he has that, from a point guard true point guard perspective, nobody else on that roster has. So whoever they put in and whatever they do to try to replace him, if he misses time, is going to be a notable drop off just in terms of that Big Ten experience. So we'll see. But if I had to guess right now, I think their first plan would be Jamarcus at the point and try to find some depth behind him.
Robin, understanding sort of how I just laid it out there with the roster that you have in Spain, is there anything that can be taken away? I know they had a win in their first game. What are you looking for? I guess you can't really look for anything because there's no, you can't watch. So I guess what do you want to hear coming out of the Spain trip?
I think the biggest things you can gain from these exhibitions are guys that we were just talking about, the back end of the bench that are being thrust into the lineup now. Your Cale Jacobson, your Eli Rice, Ramel Lloyd, guys that really just hadn't had a chance to do much at Nebraska. Now they're starting and playing significant minutes against live competition. So that picture, I think, is probably the most beneficial part of this from a fan perspective, is just seeing what you have there. These guys are going to get some invaluable experience, playing against, in some cases, grown men over there. So just to see, Eli Rice get 12 and 8, and to see Cale Jacobson make the big plays he did down the stretch. I think those are the kind of the highlights that you can actually take away and translate towards the season, especially if, this roster issues that they're having in Spain right now, if that bleeds onto the season, if Ulis misses time, if Blaise Keita's ankles aren't where they need to be, they're going to need those players. And so how they do in their first real taste of live action, I think is at least something of substance you can take away from these exhibitions. But beyond that, I don't put a whole lot of stock. Bryce Williams at 28 points. He's going to be one of their leading scorers, but Casey's not there. Rinkmast isn't there. Juwan Gary's not there. Josiah Alec's not there. Just go down the list of, Aaron Ulis wasn't there. So who is going to score the ball? So that type of stuff I don't read a lot into. But what I am watching is some of these younger guys, how they handle themselves in their first real taste of live competition at Nebraska.
All right, Robin. Appreciate the time and the update as always, and we'll talk to you later.
Sounds good, man. See you later.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. Let's go down that list. I mean, that's a lot of clock that Nebraska left on American soil. And I don't know. As far as the Ulis thing goes, you got to go through the due process, whatever. I'd be pretty surprised if he ever suited up for Nebraska.
Right.
I just would be.
Seems like a long shot at this point.
So I mean, to Robin's point, like you can't play him until there's some resolution, because if you play him and the resolution is he's immediately he's lost his eligibility forever, then you are then under fire because you played an ineligible player in the eyes of the NCAA. So you can't do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to overdo it, but I'd be pretty surprised if he ever played a game for Nebraska. Now, I don't know if you can kick him off the team yet.
Yeah,
right? Like
he's kind of in limbo in purgatory right now.
You sort of have to keep him around, but it doesn't seem that this is going to be close to a resolution anytime soon. So I'd be pretty surprised. And then especially if they're in a position where he did bet on an Iowa sporting event, which that's what's being alleged here, that would lead to a permanent ban. What's this all about, Josh? Is this a stupid breaking news or a real breaking news?
Somewhere in between.
All right.
Not unexpected.
Is this like, oh, somebody ate a sandwich?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
Dan Wetzel of Yahoo reporting that,
well, that's not somebody ate a sandwich.
That the Big Ten presidents have begun the conversation about which Pac-12 teams they would like to take should the opportunity present itself. Oregon and Washington to make 18, or do you want to go 20 and take on Cal and Stanford?
As the Big Ten has said, anti-murder.
Yes.
Anti-murder conference. But now it would be more in the light of, actually, we're not murdering a conference. We are saving the individual members of the conference.
They're floating on a door in the ocean, icy cold.
Come on.
And it's time to pick some bodies up.
Whether they're dead or alive.
Who do we want? Do we want?
We
Kate
want
Winslet?
Rose. We want Rose. Save Rose. She has so much life in front of
Do
her.
we want Kathy Bates? Do we want Billy Zane?
No, Kathy Bates was nice. Billy Zane, mean.
No.
Jerk.
Throw him right in the ocean.
How about the guy who got on the women and children boat? Don't care about him. That guy sucks. Save room for the women and children.
What about Jack? Do we want Jack?
Yeah, Jack's got a great heart. Save Jack. Yeah. Jack is Oregon.
Who's the Jack? Okay.
It's still yet to be seen, though, if Oregon and Washington, really add value to the conference. That's the problem. And like the real piece for movement here is you're going to have teams that add value to a conference, right? Mm-hmm. In this case, that actually might not be true. That might not be the case because the Big Ten seems to be at least playing with the idea of, all right, if this thing blows up, are we in a position where everybody would be cool with that?
Mm-hmm.
Would you be cool with that? That's basically what they're sort of asking right now.
You take Stanford because of the prestige and the Olympic sports thing, not because of, hey, they're a really good football team.
Yeah.
Cal, I don't know why you take Cal.
And so I was listening to Matt Brown this morning on the morning show, Extra Points Matt Brown, and mostly known for video game writing nowadays, but good on this conference realignment stuff. So he made the point, which I hadn't thought about. So the Big Ten's already adding USC and UCLA. We could talk about this more in the 1 o'clock hour, but Big Ten's adding USC and UCLA. And the thought is, okay, do you want to give them geographical partners by adding Oregon and Washington? Oregon and Washington are not geographical partners with USC and UCLA. They are on the West Coast, but they're many miles away. It doesn't make it all that helpful as far as like travel time and flight time between those schools. Like if that's what you're doing it for, if that's what you're saying. So that's a thing to think about here too.
Just a 13.5-hour drive from Eugene to LA.
That's exactly how far it is from here to Columbus.
Yeah.
It's a long ride. It's a couple hour flight.
Beautiful. You hop on that PCH.
What about Washington? I mean, Washington's probably what, 5-6 hours further?
Where's that at? In
Seattle.
Washington? Seattle?
Yeah.
17. Let's call it 18.
It's like here to Rutgers.
Doesn't seem like that, does it?
I mean, isn't it? Isn't that basically here to Rutgers or here to Maryland? Like, Think about that.
Lincoln to Piscataway.
LA to Seattle is the same as here to Rutgers.
It is 19 and a half hours to drive from Lincoln to Piscataway.
So Omaha to Piscataway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I consider myself to be a big geography guy. So I thought I would
Big maps guy.
Big maps guy. Josh's top 5 is next. Josh, what is the topic du jour today?
Connor, the trade deadline has passed. It is time for us to reassess Major League Baseball teams.
Oh, good. This won't be biased at all.
Bottom 5.
Oh, bottom 5.
MLB teams after the trade deadline.
Good. This will be great. We'll talk more about the expansion and the report from Dan Wetzel here in just a couple minutes. Josh's top 5 is next on 1620 The Zone.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620 The Zone.
Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream is the best ice cream from planet Earth, and part of the reason why is because Ted and Wally's only uses premium flavorings, some of which is locally sourced.
Hi, I'm Ellen Walsh-Roseman from Farm Table Procurement and Delivery out of Harlan, Iowa. We help local growers get their products to the customers by providing transportation and marketing services. We have a lot of seasonal produce, fresh herbs and strawberries and rhubarb available. We also work with dairy producers, so we have milk, butter, buttermilk. They value high quality ingredients, and that's why we have such a good relationship, because we also value high quality.
There you have it. Just one of the reasons Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream is so good. And after more than 35 years, it just keeps getting better. Get some today in Benson, the Old Market, and at tedandwallys.com.
Why?
Why? If you have T-Mobile 5G home internet, you might be hearing this
Why?
a lot. Why? Every time your internet slows down during the busiest hours.
Why?
Why? Because your network gives priority to cell phone users.
Why?
Good question. Why not switch to Cox Internet with 2 times faster download speeds than T-Mobile 5G home internet during peak hours?
Okay.
Stop the whys and visit cox.com/5G home for details. T-Mobile prioritizes certain T-Mobile phone users over home internet users during times of congestion.
Do you like to drink? Head to Wine, Beer, and Spirits. It's not just big, it's huge. Our 30,000 square foot flagship store south of 144th and Center has the largest selection and best prices in town. Drink while you shop. Yes, drink while you shop. Taste bourbons, craft beers, or fine tequilas at rock bottom prices from the in-store bar. Or enjoy the sun on downtown's largest patio at the new Old Market location on 11th and Jones. Wine, Beer, and Spirits is Nebraska's largest locally owned liquor store. Find out more about upcoming events at winebeerandspirits.com. Please drink responsibly.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Union Omaha. A couple more home matches coming up this week. One on Wednesday, one on Saturday, and great specials as well, including $2 night on Wednesday. Tickets for the Berm area, beer, pop, and a whole lot more. Go to the website today, unionomaha.com, and purchase your tickets. It's a great atmosphere. The only professional soccer club that we have in the state of Nebraska. I love going to Union Omaha matches. You will too. unionomaha.com.
Don't miss the Vallis 39-hour flash sale celebrating their 39-year anniversary. Thursday at 7 a.m. through Friday at 10 p.m. Friday through Sunday tickets are $32.99 and season passes are $69.99 per person. With more than 50 attractions included with admission, Vallis Pumpkin Patch and Apple Orchard has something fun for all ages. Visit VallisPumpkinPatch.com to cash in on the savings during their 39-hour anniversary flash sale.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's forhims.com/radio for your free online visit. forhims.com/radio.
Let it fly. Your elevated sports bar experience. KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Oh, yeah. Listen to the sweet sounds. That's what they were chanting at Errol Spence on Saturday night. Look, it's Lauren Jabara wearing a thermometer on her neck.
Like Flava Flav.
It's 100 degrees in Atlanta. Everybody's wearing fan. Everybody's doing the fan thing. Like it's 1940 again. You see, they're giving away these fans, Josh.
The first 400 fans in attendance will receive a commemorative fan.
It's better than AC. There is no AC. It's 1940.
What if I envisioned a device that would condition the air inside your domicile?
All right, bottom five. Come on, Josh, hurt me. Go ahead, hurt me.
Boy, that J.D. Rockefeller's got conditioned air in his own home. Can you believe that?
God, come on. Take forever.
Number 5.
This was the toughest one for me.
So this is the 5th worst team in baseball.
Worst team, correct. And
there's a clear 4.
I'm gonna throw you a little curveball here. I think White Sox fans feel pretty bad about themselves today.
They should.
After the trade deadline, they were clear sellers. They're 43-65, firmly in 4th place in the very bad division. Connor, I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay. It's not my fault.
They would be right around the bottom of the National League if they were in the National League, and they will theoretically only get worse from here on out.
Okay. So we know that the Final 4 is a combination of the following teams.
Okay, let's see if you can get this.
The Royals.
Unfortunately, yes, they are on this list.
The Athletics.
Yes, they are on this list.
The Colorado Rockies. And the Washington Nationals.
Okay.
So then you had some finalists for this spot.
Sure.
Who sucks?
I will tell you.
Did the St. Louis Cardinals get any run here?
Yeah, they probably feel worse than the White Sox right now.
Did the New York Yankees get any run here? Even though they're 3 games over 500.
They are in last.
I can't believe how much they rely on Aaron Judge. It almost is impossible for a baseball team to rely that much on one singular player. They're horrible without him.
Yeah.
And they're competent with him.
It makes very little sense.
That's about it.
Well, you got 4 of those teams right.
Really?
Well, 3 of the 4 that you guessed.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
Somebody else goes in here.
We'll parse it out.
3.
Oh, hey, no, not you.
Number 4.
Okay. The Colorado Rockies, right here.
Yep, they stink.
They are stinky, but we expected them to be stinky. They traded quite a few, I don't want to say pieces away, but players.
I'm going to go. So when you mention these teams from now on, I'm going to go to their war leaders. This is one of my favorite things to do.
Okay, smart. Very intelligent of you.
Ryan McMahon is the Colorado Rockies leader in wins above replacement.
That's not Chris Brandt.
Right ahead of Ezekiel Tovar.
That's not Chris Brandt.
And Justin Lawrence.
All right.
Those are baseball players, Josh.
Interesting. What's going on in Denver?
Well, not very good baseball.
The management kind of sucks there, right?
Very bad.
Yeah.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
Now
this
it's
is
number
time.
3. Now it's the Kansas City Royals time.
Yes. Not last or second to last.
Oh, yeah. No, they're hot right now. Don't let the Royals get hot.
4 in a row.
4 in a row. And did you see the balk-off?
I did. It was a thing of beauty, quite frankly.
All right, you ready for the top 3 Royals players? The first 2 I would have guessed. The third, I don't think I would have.
Okay.
Bobby Witt Jr.
Sure.
Michael Garcia, who's had a Rookie of the Year-like campaign. Please don't forget about him. Voters. And third, Omaha Storm Chasers legend Freddie Fermin, who's done nothing but hit in his time in Kansas City.
How many games played in Kansas City for Freddie?
Freddie this year has played in 44 baseball games.
Okay, that's about where I would have guessed. So maybe a little lower.
For the Kansas City Royals, where he's hit .290, on base 33% of the time, and slugged .490. He's a run producer. He's driven in 23 runs in 44 games. Good job by Freddie Fermin. Yeah, I have no argument here. I'm just glad that they weren't in the top 2.
Yeah, no. Not at all. Not at all.
And good job, by the way, just one comment on this. I know that it would be the best thing for the franchise to trade Salvador Perez. I understand. I would not have it. I would be extremely unhappy. Salvador Perez, in a lot of ways, is my best friend.
There's a respect there, right?
Yes.
Like I appreciate them not being so cold and calculated to go, well, that's the guy we could get something for at the tail end of his career.
He's on a big contract.
You don't trade the captain away.
Yeah. No, he's got a C on his jersey, man. That would just hurt.
Yeah.
It would hurt. So I'm in support of what the Royals did. Shop him a little bit, see what you can get back, and ultimately do not move him.
You're asking for a new stadium.
He's my best friend. Well, he's not going to be around by the time the stadium's here.
But you're asking for it now.
That's true. That's true.
You need all the friends you can get in downtown Kansas City.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Boy, this Tonkin guy kind of sucks. Oakland.
Whoa.
Number 2. Oakland.
Their war guys will be really funny.
Because we won't know who they are.
Correct.
Well, you might.
I don't know. I may not. They all look like white guys to me. They are.
That's not good.
J.P. Sears.
I don't know who that is.
J.P. Sears is their top wins above replacement man. Do you happen to know what J.P. Sears does on a baseball field, Josh?
I don't. Is he the catcher?
No, he's a pitcher.
Okay.
He's a starting pitcher. Not a very good one, but he is a starting pitcher, and he's their best. Ryan Noda is number 2.
Vague bell being rung there.
He's on the injured list at the moment.
Oh.
And Ramon Laureano, who's been around for a little bit, is number 3. There's also former Royal Brett Rooker. And then people with the following names: Austin Pruitt, Mason Miller, Zach Jackson, Paul Blackburn, Jordan Diaz, Zach Geloff, Jace Peterson, and Connor Capel.
Connor.
Yep.
The Oakland A's are 30-78. They are exactly 15-39 at home and 15-39 on the road.
At least they're consistent.
They have a run differential of -259, which is 91 runs worse than the second place Kansas City Royals.
What do we think the worst one of all time is? They got to be approaching that number.
Worst run differential?
Worst run differential. I mean, like outside of 1912, when I'm sure somebody lost every game 22-0.
The worst run differential was, yes, you were correct, by the 1899 Cleveland Spiders, who ended the season at -723.
This week in baseball.
I can't read and talk and think at the same time, so I don't know. We'll look that up after the show. But who could be worse than that team?
Who is worse than the A's, Josh? This is surprising.
Very surprising.
Make it so, number 1.
Number 1.
I can't believe you didn't see it, Connor. You didn't see it. This is all just an elaborate ruse to make fun of the New York Mets.
Ah, yeah.
They paid Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander to pitch elsewhere.
They did. They sent money with them when they traded them.
Hilarious times for a team that was going to win the NL East and then got swept by the Atlanta Braves.
And are on the verge of getting swept by the Royals.
The Royals.
No, well, if they did sweep, that'd be really funny. That Frank guy is going to be triggered. He was already mega triggered. The Mets are only 50 and 56, but Josh's bias kicks in, and I'm in support of it this time.
I mean,
who
feels worse than Mets fans?
They've already told everybody that next year is a transition year.
Mm-hmm. Pete Alonso is going, hey, what the hell?
Pete Alonso hit a baseball so hard last night. It was the hardest baseball I've ever seen hit. It was 116 miles an hour off the bat and had a 17-degree launch angle. It got out in like 0.4 seconds at dead center field in Kauffman Stadium. But
that's a hard place to go.
It was not enough to beat the Kansas City Royals last night. The top 3 Mets wins above replacements are people that you have heard of, sadly. Francisco Lindor, Brandon Nimmo, and Pete Alonso. It's also been a good year for Kodai Senga.
It has, actually.
He's got some rookie of the year in him.
Mm-hmm. This is the largest payroll in baseball history. Is that right?
That sounds accurate. Yes.
50 and 56.
And at the trade deadline, they sold for parts, which included Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Mark Canha, Tommy Pham. They're all gone.
Where did Pham go? I didn't hear that. I knew he was on the market.
He was traded last night to the Arizona Diamondbacks, America's team.
Man, they're in third place, but they scare me for some reason.
America's team?
Yeah.
They got Corbin Carroll.
He good. Zach Gallen, pretty good.
All right, good list, Josh. Thank you.
Thank you.
I support your laughter at the New York Mets.
Lol Mets.
I
Couldn't
like
work the pitch comm and lost the game because of it.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. I'm like, oh my God. First of all, I mean, the Royals get down 6-4 in the 10th. I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And Carlos Hernandez, who I thought, Carlos Hernandez is going to be he's the back end of the bullpen. They could have traded that guy and actually got some value out of him. He gives up a home run to Francisco Alvarez in the 10th. I'm like, great. They got to the 10th inning just to lose. Bobby Witt Jr. hammers a ball into the gap, 6-5. Melendez singles. We're tied. Bases get loaded. They bring in 2 new pitchers. And the new guy decides he can't hear anything out of the pitch comm. He makes a weird move on the mound. The umps are like, hey, did you just... Yep, balk! Game over! I was sitting on my couch just going, yes! Wow, this is awesome.
Good job not losing to the team of wayward minor leaguers that the Mets sent to Kansas City.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll take wins.
Mets. We'll take wins anywhere we can get them.
The NL East is over! Remember that? Remember when that guy said that?
Was that Frank guy?
No, that's some New York local sports reporter on TV last year said the NL East was over, and then the Mets proceeded to gag away the division.
It was not over, Josh.
It was not.
It was not. And it's probably over now, actually.
Well, I would never say anything
Josh
so
would never
dumb.
say that. Also in baseball last night, congratulations to Framber Valdez.
Yeah.
A no-hitter.
No-hitter.
And that's
good day for the Astros.
That's my only comment on that.
93 pitches. What do you think of that?
Almost a Maddox.
Very much so.
Almost.
Watch out for Houston. Don't let them get hot.
We will return 1:00. Let's talk a little bit about the report that Dan Wetzel just put out there, and as far as the Big Ten's involvement in murder. Yeah, let's leave it right there. Yeah, the Big Ten's involvement. Is the Big Ten involved in a murder scheme? Find out next on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, everybody, it's Michael Savitt for Ted and Wally's Ultra Premium Ice Cream. 2 locations in Benson and the Old Market. You know what it's like in the summer, right? It's hot. We know that. What's better way to cool off than ice cream, and especially ice cream from Ted and Wally's? More than 3,000 flavors. For 35 years, they've made sure that when they make ice cream, they make it the right way. That's why they have 20% butter fat. That's why they do it the old-fashioned way. Check out both locations. Go over to Benson or go over to the Old Market and get some Ted and Wally's today. 35 years of tradition, and tell them Severe sent you.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. PACE provides an opportunity to develop discipline, self-esteem, and positive moral values through wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
0.05 seconds. That's how long it takes users to form an opinion about a website. If you're unsure that your website meets today's standards, go to jmonline.com and book a call with an expert today. At JM Online, we redesigned our own website last year, a project that has already delivered us a positive ROI. From advanced micro interactions to a beautiful mobile design, check out what we're capable of at jmonline.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
Or the text line at 402-951-1620. Mr. Rick writes in.
Hi, Rick.
At this point, it's not murder. It's more like a mercy killing of the Pac-12. Is it still murder in a way, though? By the way, the whole Big Ten saying that we don't want to be, we're not interested in, I mean, they didn't actually say murder, but they said, look, we don't want to be the ones who have blood on our hands here. They actually said that. They don't want to kill a conference. If you want to go at other teams, and you're the Big Ten, regardless of past relationships, whatever, like, feel free to do so. It's dog eat dog out here. The difference from then to now is then there was no reason to. It didn't make sense to. The Big Ten's cool where they're at. The Big Ten is, it's equal piece of the pie for everybody, and the pie is huge. It's one giant cake, and everybody gets a huge, huge slice. Now, there isn't much incentive to do so other than convenience. Sometimes convenience is the thing that makes you ultimately move. So, with that being said, here's the report from Dan Wetzel, Yahoo Sports. Big Ten has begun preliminary talks to potentially add Oregon, Washington, Cal, and Stanford. The Big Ten has begun exploratory discussions about expanding memberships to 18 or even 20 teams, industry sources have told Yahoo Sports. The schools being considered are Oregon and Washington, if the league adds 2, and Cal and Stanford, if it wants to move to 20. All 4 institutions are currently members of the Pac-12. People forget that. The discussions are in very early stages, sources caution. No decisions, including on whether to expand or stay put at 16 teams, has been made or considered imminent. The Big Ten may also patiently wait to see what happens with other Pac-12 schools and their potential
move to the Big 12 before acting at all. However, the ballooning the league to as many as 20 teams by adding a 6-team West Coast flank, including USC and UCLA, is a real possibility. This is especially true if the Pac-12, which dates back to 1915, falls apart in the near future. Basically, what this is telling me is the doomsday scenario for the Pac-12 is upon us, and people are preparing themselves for doomsday to arrive. Right? Isn't that the headline? Isn't that the story? Doomsday is coming. Are we going to have My Patriot Supply? This is going to happen. So we have to come up with an answer for the question that people are going to ask us when doomsday arrives. And it's not, by the way, it's not doomsday for the Big Ten. It's doomsday for the Pac-12. That's coming. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I don't think there's much doubt as Chris Montana writes in on the text line. Nobody in their right mind wants to stream on Apple Plus. That's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, I mean, I get how they're going to come out and they're going to say that it's very forward thinking and it's great for the league, but both things are wrong.
So here's the comparison. Our group of 4 Big Ten university presidents began the preliminary process today. Yesterday, George Klavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner, presented a media rights package to its membership that was heavily relied on games appearing on Apple Plus subscription streaming service. Revenue estimates were as low as $20 million per school. By comparison, Big Ten schools would receive a minimum of $50 million a year, with games mostly appearing on linear television, CBS, NBC, and Fox.
Linear television.
Huh. How about that? That number is expected to grow annually. Meanwhile, the Big 12 has a $31 million per year package for its schools. So each of those schools that could be, that are interested in leaving the Pac-12, they got to figure out what they want to do and who they want to be. Like I said, I mean, I guess I didn't think that it would come this quick, but I feel like I've been saying that every summer. We've just inched closer and closer every single summer now for the last 2 but we're getting to its final form. There is no final form, but like the final form in the near term is there's 4 more schools in the Big Ten, and then the SEC has to react because they want the bigger payout too, or maybe they don't. The Pac-12 goes away, and we get this mega Big 12 without Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and USC.
You're surprised, even though it happened the exact way you said it would. They would roll out the TV deal, and then the Pac-12 schools would look for life preservers.
Yeah, I guess I just didn't think the Pac-12 commissioner was this big of an idiot.
I mean,
I love MGM Grand. I love the MGM Grand. This guy ran MGM. I guess that's it. I didn't think the new commissioner, who replaced Larry Scott, bad, would be this bad. I just didn't think it'd be this bad. He's put his conference in a horrible position by inactivity, by doing nothing. According to Wetzel, one source tossed out the possibility of playing the Big Ten championship game some years in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena rather than Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Also a possibility is more regional-based setup for so-called Olympic sport travel. If the Big Ten is willing to work through the details, then this deal will get done. The 4 Pac-12 schools will jump at a membership offer. There's no that's one thing we know for sure. The Big Ten holds the keys. To use the Titanic reference from earlier,
please do, because I'm going to make a graphic of it after the show.
They are the ones with the lifeboat, and they're running around to all the sea of freezing bodies in the middle of the ocean saying, would you like to hop in? But they're being selective, and they haven't asked anybody yet. but there's some room if they decide there's room. Right? It's crowded, but they could make more room if they really wanted to. Is that you, Oregon, Washington? Is that you out there? Yes. Okay, I guess we can make room. I like the graphic idea. I don't know the analogy. I suppose it's still
you're less sure of, but
Wetzel writes, if so, the remaining of the so-called four corner schools, Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah, would almost certainly leave for the Big 12, making that league 16 teams strong. They may even do that before the Big 10 jumps. That would be a bitter development for the current Pac-12 members left behind, Oregon State and Washington State. That would leave them, Cal, Stanford only. They would likely join the Mountain West, or to maintain the Pac-12 brand, merge with any number of Mountain West schools. Ooh. What's Oregon State got to do to get a little invite to the Big 12? What's that lifeboat look like? How come Mr. Big Idea Commissioner Man doesn't want Oregon State?
I think he's most likely just forgetting they exist.
Happens to the best of us.
Poll question: have you ever forgot Oregon State exists?
Yeah, it's a good one.
I have. I'll freely admit it. I don't care.
Go ahead, vote on that one at Happer Show. We'll come back. Your guys' reaction now. We got a couple texts here that I want to get to, and plenty more. Also, Jeffy Smack writes in at Happer Show. Big Ten murder cult. Get Josh on the phone. We'll get his take in the crossover coming up in just a little bit. More up next on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
If there's a snail crawling towards me inside of the Omaha NRG studio, it's not going to be any other snail. That's just the one snail.
But when Nick and I bring a bag full of snails and dump them at your feet,
I'm not working with you two yahoos anymore.
snail pickup.
I'm not gonna work with you anymore.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Most of the heavy rain wrapping up today. We'll just be left with some shower chances through the evening hours. We'll hit a high near 80 degrees. We'll have a chance of showers consistently throughout the night hours as well. We'll wake up with another chance of showers till about 9 a.m., a temperature in the low 70s, and cloudy skies remaining for the rest of the day. I'm meteorologist Luke Vickery, KETV News Watch 7.
Hi, this is Doug Nodgard with Equitable Bank. Great service never goes out of style. When the digital age dawned, many said computers would be able to handle many of the interactions that used to take a person. Boy, were they wrong. How many times have you called your bank and gotten a recording to press 1 or 2? Not at Equitable. Not only does Equitable answer your call in the first ring, it's answered by a human being. That's because Equitable Bank values its customers. Equitable Bank, we take banking personally. Member FDIC.
United Way of the Midlands is celebrating 100 years of helping others in the Omaha Council Bluffs Metro. Since 1923, United Way has been creating a circle of support to help our neighbors in need overcome challenges and build a brighter future. Through funded programs and direct services, United Way helps meet families' essential needs, such as healthy food, safe and stable housing, healthcare, and more. If you'd like more information on how to get involved and support United Way, go to unitedwaymidlands.org.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here to talk about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked or uneven concrete, Everlevel can do it all with their complete repair solutions. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, and protect the surface, all at a fraction of the price compared to replacement. And better yet, they offer long-term transferable warranties. I'm so glad I chose Everlevel for my driveway. Give them a call for your free inspection. That's Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Your Omaha Mavericks are coming off an historic year with conference championships, NCAA appearances, and record attendance. 2023-24 season tickets are on sale now. Be a part of the action and get your tickets today by calling the box office at 402-554-MAVS or by going to omavs.com/tigs. The seat you purchase today will be better than the seat you can buy tomorrow. Get your tickets now and go Mavs.
It started in Lincoln. Now it's in Omaha. It's Muchachos. At the heart of Muchachos is family. Muchachos uses new Mexican flavors with smoked barbecue passed down from generations. This flavor sensation is called New Mexican Barbecue Fusion. Come get your eat on and nosh on slow smoked pork brisket, chicken, queso, and mac. Try the fan favorite Hatch Mac Burrito with a craft beer or margarita. Muchachos is south of the Old Market at 1285 South 13th Street, or check them out at yomuchacho.com.
0.05 seconds. That's how long it takes users to form an opinion about a website. If you're unsure that your website meets today's standards, go to jmonline.com and book a call with an expert today. At JM Online, we redesigned our own website last year, a project that has already delivered us a positive ROI. From advanced micro interactions to a beautiful mobile design, check out what we're capable of at jmonline.com.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain.
But we don't speak Spanish.
So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks. Babbel's conversational method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aww. He just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
To continue the Titanic analogy, kind of morbid, but I think we can make jokes about the Titanic now. They did a whole movie about it. There was that submarine thing.
Submersible.
Sorry. Chance on the YouTube says Colorado jumped off the ship that was heading toward the iceberg. The Big Ten is waiting for the ship to hit the iceberg, and then we'll toss out a few life preservers, but only to a select few. That's right. It's interesting in Wetzel's reporting that Cal and Stanford, I mean, I know that the Big Ten continues to say like how much they value academics and stuff.
Really committed to that bit.
I know. They really are.
You don't have to say it anymore. You can just say these are the institutions that will make us the most revenue.
I got to think then if this thing collapses, and maybe I don't know what happens first. I would imagine the first thing that happens is the Arizona State, Utah thing. Big 12.
Agree.
And then the Big Ten says, okay, great. We get our pick at the scraps and we get it at a cheaper, rate. Doesn't hurt our conference members. I imagine that they would probably take a look at 6 of the 8. 6 of the remaining 8.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I'm sorry, 4 of the remaining 6, because you already have USC and UCLA. So 4 of the remaining 6 would be Oregon, Washington, Cal, and Stanford. I'm mildly surprised to see the Cal-Stanford thing in there, or at least that's mentioned seemingly before Oregon and Washington.
Cal is the one that surprises
it's the whole
me.
academic thing. Can we just buzz off about the academics?
Are they even good at that?
Hey, I went to Berkeley. That still means something, right?
I guess. I mean, they're probably good at Olympic sports, right?
Maybe.
What's Cal good at? Can I Google that?
What is Cal good at? Not working. Am I right, old man Doug? Am I right?
It ranked number 20 in U.S. News and World Report's best colleges in the nation.
That's top 20, Josh.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So I was a little surprised to see that piece of it. But yeah, like I said, we're nearing the end game here. We're nearing it. At least for the Pac-12. Pac-12's Like, how long does Pac-12 make it?
Yeah, and then do we have to change
seriously
Power 5 definitions for playoff purposes?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. It seems like there is some sort of imminence in regards to the whole four corner school thing. Like Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, they're in, I don't know if I'd call it decision making. Maybe it is just decision making mode, right? They're talking about it seriously. If they go, that's the move. The Big Ten has the cards in their hands next, then they can decide to do whatever they're going to do. It'd be throwing out the life preserver to whichever ones you'd like to pick. I think no matter which way you cut it, Oregon and Washington State are left out. What happens to Oregon and Washington State? They become into Oregon State. I'm sorry, in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
They become independents. They merge the Pac-12 and the Mountain West together. Remember, a year ago, the Pac-12 was offered an opportunity to merge with the Big 12. And now the Pac-12 has no TV deal, Apple TV only, and all their teams are leaving for the Big 12 without their permission.
And the one who started it all is Colorado, who has little to no impact in anything.
It's funny Colorado's place in this because, like, if we're going back to the Titanic analogy, like, if Colorado jumps off the ship, you're like, well,
that was kind of a weird thing to do. We were smooth sailing here, and that big, huge buffalo with 8 toes just jumped right off.
It's like you probably could have made it.
Yeah.
You probably could have made it, but you do you. And it turns out they survived the impact of the water and they hopped into a boat. Good job by them. But everybody looked at them like, what'd you do that for? If 3 more go, and it's Arizona, Arizona State, and Utah, I mean, that's a real hit. Yeah, that's a real hit. Not that the analogy doesn't really connect because the more people that are on the Titanic doesn't necessarily help it, right? But yeah, we'll work that out. Here's a tweet from Adam Rittenberg.
Hi, Adam.
Zeet. The potential West Coast additions to the Big Ten wouldn't come into the league with full revenue shares like USC and UCLA did per sources. So would be more on the Rutgers, Maryland plan from 2014. Certainly still stronger money than what the Pac-12 is seemingly offering, but a factor. Not really, Adam, because of the second part that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
Oregon, they have no leverage. If we're talking about Oregon, Washington, they have no leverage. If we're talking about the Big Ten. Like, they can't say, I think I like our deal with the Pac-12 better. Because they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. That doesn't exist. So the Big Ten can say, all right, our full members are making, let's just call it a round number because I know it's a moving target. Our full members are making $50 million a year. You're going to come in and, you got to pay the exit fee for your previous conference and you're going to make 35 for the first 3 years. What do you do?
Sign us up.
Yeah. What do you do if you're Oregon? Hell yes. God. Yes, absolutely. I'm off a sinking ship.
What's the Pac-12 going to say?
Right.
Tradition? Like,
yeah,
no.
But remember us? Yeah, no. It's it happens pretty quick. One quick thing before we get to the poll questions and get out of here on the gambling thing. So I had this revelation last night. Hunter Deckers, the quarterback at Iowa State, potentially betting on his own team. This whole Iowa State gambling probe thing. We got players who are taking out FanDuel and DraftKings accounts in their mom's names or in their friends' names and placing all these 7-team parlays and stuff like this. Here's the through line in all of it. If you're looking for the story. Stupidity.
Yeah.
We could talk about education on this stuff all we want. But you have to know as an adult person going into this that that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
That's not okay. So I know the NCAA is going to, their response to this is going to be, we have to really find a way to educate these people on this. And you do. They're going to do everything they can. But they already do a pretty okay job at that.
Yeah.
It's not the NCAA's fault that all these people are idiots. They're just dumb.
Every single story that has come out this week, there's been an element of the player saying, I got this.
Right.
And then not having it at all.
How about the Alabama baseball coach? Idiot, right? Idiot.
I'm smarter than them. I'm a smart guy. I know
They'll never find me out. It's just a casino.
They'll never look up Julie Decker betting a ton of money on Iowa State games.
It's just the FBI. You're not going to get away with it. Sorry. But there's the through line. So whenever you continue to see this, just think about that. It ain't anybody's fault. It's just a whole bunch of people being big old dummies.
Also, I have an update from Spain.
Oh, did the Huskers win?
End of the third quarter right now. Nebraska 75, Valencia 69.
Nice. And suck it.
CJ Wilcher, 19 points.
Poll questions tell you what to watch next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis. They have a brand new club fitter, Mark Bauman, their master club fitter at Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis, and he is fitting both Callaway and Titleist equipment. Plus, how about this? Demo events on Tuesday nights as well as Saturdays where you can try out the equipment and then schedule your own personalized fitting with Mark to get that equipment ordered. Give him a call today at 402-498-0220, Miracle Hill Golf and Tennis.
Happy birthday to us. That's right. We're turning 50 this year, and we're celebrating with you. Introducing my new birthday cake streusel, topped with vanilla cake and crunchy streusel, a swirl of white icing, and showered with rainbow sprinkles. Paired with our classic combo, the one that started it all, and your favorite one-topping pizza. Happy birthday feast. Enjoy one today. Godfather's Pizza. Do it.
PACE, Police Athletics for Community Engagement Organization, is dedicated to preventing at-risk and disadvantaged inner-city children from becoming involved in street gangs, crime, drug use, and victimization. Last year, PACE served over 5,000 area kids with wholesome competition and free participation in soccer, baseball, CrossFit, and flag football. To help PACE and local families make sure kids have access to safe and fun spring and summer activities, please go to paceomaha.org to support the PACE mission. Thank you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
It started in Lincoln. Now it's in Omaha. It's Muchachos. At the heart of Muchachos is family. Muchachos uses new Mexican flavors with smoked barbecue passed down from generations. This flavor sensation is called New Mexican Barbecue Fusion. Come get your eat on and nosh on slow smoked pork brisket, chicken, queso, and mac. Try the fan favorite Hatch Mac Burrito with a craft beer or margarita. Muchachos is south of the Old Market at 1285 South 13th Street, or check them out at yomuchacho.com.
Welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and 1620thezone.com. All right, before we get out of here, poll questions.
Yeah.
Is pickleball where the white people are?
Can I address something?
Yes.
About this poll question?
Yes.
People are like, oh, what about Ravi? What about Ravi? What about Ravi?
You know one non-white guy who plays pickleball.
Exception that proves the rule. Thank you, Connor. Proceed.
And to prove it even further, 87% say yes.
Oh, that's pretty overwhelming. Most voted on poll question of the day? No, it's not. I'm sorry.
If you have not participated in the Cornhusker State Games, are you a Cornhusker? I think you still can be.
I think so too.
I say yes. 72% agree.
Oh, okay.
Is mall walking a sport? No.
Get out of here with that.
70% say no. Mall of America? Question mark.
Most voted on poll question of the day.
Oh, come on.
Liked by the Mall of America itself.
I need this. My answer is yes. 56% say no.
Still time, but you're behind the 8 ball.
Have you ever forgotten Oregon State exists?
Yes. I'm not ashamed.
Occasionally I do. 69% say yes.
Nice.
Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching tonight?
We are watching Major League Baseball. Got a little bit left in this Angels-Braves game on MLB
Oh, yeah. How's
Network.
it going?
It's 12-4 Atlanta in the bottom of the 8th. Acuna must have scored this inning.
That's good.
Yeah, the Braves are good. Orioles, Blue Jays, 6 o'clock on ESPN+. Rays, Yankees, 6 o'clock tonight on MLB Network. Garrett Cole pitching for the Yankees. Rue McClanahan pitching for the Rays.
Okay.
Today. Well, I don't know his name. I forget he exists because he's
Shane.
a Ray.
Shane.
11-1 he is.
He's very good.
Very good. A's, Dodgers, 9 o'clock on MLB TV. It's your free game of the day. Semifinals of the basketball tournament are at 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock respectively on ESPN. What teams are in it? I don't know. They're not doing a good job of telling you that when you look it up online.
That's nice.
The Juniors National Championship of Cornhole is tonight at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. Psycho on TCM tonight at 7 o'clock. The 1960 Hitchcock thriller. And Disney Plus has the streaming premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Ooh, I never saw it in theaters.
It's pretty good, as the titular misfits' lives are upended by the echoes of Rocket's past. Might not hurt to watch that holiday special if you didn't. No spoilers, but they reference it a lot more than they probably should have.
Really? Nobody saw it?
Yeah.
Great. Did Peter Quill die?
No spoilers.
I feel like he dies.
That's on you, man.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I don't wish death upon anyone.
It just feels like a good time for like a heroic death.
Like Tony Stark.
Thank you, Shady McCoy. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching tonight, and that's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.
Did you know that radon is the #1 cause of lung cancer for non-smokers?